Chastity, the social media influencer and rockstar killer. Maria, from Miami. And Lucy, aspiring actress. Sydney, hip-hop lover and writer, so I'm told. And my quiet one, Mackenzie. Well, hello, ladies. I'm Bella. I have a question for everyone. Why do you think rich men cheat? Control.
I'm going home.
Don't go.
Attention.
You bring the total package to the table. You just need the right friends.
Are you my friend?
No, but you can be mine.
And power.
I stuck my neck out for you.
Thank you!
And I pulled the strings to get you onto this show.
Take all three away, and he becomes desperate.
So, what's with the apples?
Well, it represents knowledge, wisdom, beauty, and power. Here, you will learn how to gain ownership of all.
I'm gonna send you the money for the ticket, and I already have your room set up at the Palms.
You do that, babe.
Because once you have possession of the apple, no man alive will have power over you.
You make it sound so easy.
Oh, it's not easy.
Brett, look, I'm sorry.
Save it! Save it!
I get no auditions.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
I get no callbacks.
I really need to get upstairs. They stole all my money.
I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you're no better than the rest of us.
Right now they have a do not disturb until this afternoon. If they call you, great.
How is he gonna call me if he doesn't?
If not, charge it to the game.
Make no mistake, ladies. In order to succeed in this game, you must be willing to play it out till the very end.
This business is all types of savage. What are you doing?
But if you follow my blueprints, I guarantee you will become a millionaire within the next 3 years. Possibly way earlier. So, are you ready to take that step?
Another day, another dollar. Ain't about money, don't you holla. 100 miles and racing, and that money conversation be my only motivation, yeah.
Where have you been? I've been calling you on your cell phone all day.
At work.
Faith wake up, dope sick, fiending for a sniff. Left the house, ain't tell her husband she was gone, she just dipped.
Why is it that you are taking large sums of money out of our account every single day?
While her family's at home, she's out there chasing that high. Roaming up and down the block, she run into this pimp guy. He's conversating with her, asked her if she trying to make cash. Next thing you know, she's in front of the pink house selling the ass. Then she gets dope sick again. She need that boy, so she out there searching again. She's tired of her life. For years she done wrong. Now she wanna do right. She go to rehab to get the help she need, and she tell her family.
Up, y'all, this is Rayon Lawrence, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Catherine Nunez, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director and the Council on the IE Network.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
It's Vicky Judy. Orange is the new black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Frida Parks. You are listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And nothing less. What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. Real Talk's brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on youtube.com/IE Network TV and Facebook, aka Meta, the social network, and Twitter. So tonight we got a nice little show lined up. Some interesting stuff to talk about. Another Monday, the 10th. Today is the 10th of April. It's flying by. Last week, my son, my only son, had a birthday. So shout out to him. Happy birthday. I'm gonna have my other child, my oldest child, is later this month. Yeah, man. And my youngest child was last month, so they're kind of close together. But and my niece is this month too, so I got 3 Aries on my hands between my niece and my oldest and my son. We have the very mellow Pisces, that's my youngest, and then I got 2 very, very much Aries, and I'll just leave it at that. So shout out to them. Yeah, man. So we're gonna talk about a few things. We had the celebration 2023 was over the weekend and out there in Europe. I think it was like in London or somewhere like that. So that is a lot of stuff going on there. We'll talk about that stuff. Talk about other, trending topics and things that's going on. And of course, we will have a guest around 9:30. The actor. She's an actor. She's a writer, a producer, and a director, and all that other stuff she does. She's a filmmaker and a model. That's right. I think she started in the game modeling. So Miss Josephine Webb Danielson will be here with us in a little while to talk about our topic really of the night that I did mention before that, watch the Brooke Shields documentary. It's called Pretty Baby, which is the title of her first film. And it got pretty deep. And I think, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And also one of the reasons why I asked Ms. Danielson to come on, Mrs. Danielson to come on, is because not only is she a professional, not only is she in the industry and has got many years under her belt, but she now has a child. Well, she's had a child, but that child is now in her beginnings of the industry, right? She's she's modeling right now, probably acting a little too. If not, I'm sure she will be following her mama's footsteps. But I think that was good to to have her on the panel while we kind of discuss these things. We had a show about this a few months back, last year sometime, and a lot of people really we got a lot of good feedback on it. This is not officially part 2 to that show, but we talked about the Hollywood kids and a lot of the Hollywood kids and how they came out against Hollywood, that was assaulted, and we just talked about in general how Hollywood takes advantage of these young stars, these young talented people, and they take advantage of men, boys and girls, or male and female, mostly female. But some of the things Brooke Shields talked about in this documentary was really interesting, and it was like, hey, it was kind of, it was definitely sad. It was, kind of messed up how she was treated in the industry, and Josie got some fans out there, right? Ready for Josephine? That's what's up. Ready for you. So she'll be here soon, and I tell you, man, it's like the things that goes on with these children star actors and models and things like that. So the reason why, Brooke Shields, before she ever got really into acting, she was first modeling. She was modeling from a very young age. And some of this stuff is good. It's a good documentary. It's well put together, but it is a little bit cringe. It's a little cringe in parts, especially when you have these older men talking to Brooke Shields as if she's older, like some sort of supermodel. She was kind of like a child supermodel, but some of the things that they, the innuendos and sometimes the blatant sexual advances, and comments and things that they were making to this child. When we was growing up, we was saying how good Brooke Shields looked 'cause we're around her age, what I mean? So it's like, so we look at Brooke Shields as a youngster, as at whatever age she is, we right around the same age. So we were looking at her, because that's just what young boys do, but not grown ass men. And that's not cool. And we'll get a little more in depth into that, because I want Josie to hear, a little bit more. I think she probably watched it, but whether she watched it or not, anyone could relate to this. And I may even have another part of this show and bring some more mom managers up. We kind of got the gist of this show together a little later, so we may do another show. But it's kind of like a soft continuation to the show that myself, Kev, and Heaven Hollywood was our guest host. We kind of talked about the industry and how, these young people. I'm going to mention that stuff again. I'm not going to go too in depth, because it really gets, I should probably kind of state some sort of trigger warning before we go into this type of discussion. This is officially your trigger warning right now, before we go into this discussion later around 9:30. We will be discussing things that pertain to sexual advances towards children, towards young people, and all of that other crazy stuff. So just be forewarned. If that's something you think you'll be triggered by, then hate to see you go, but there's the door. But come back after the fact. And we appreciate everyone down here. Shout out to the chat room, by the way. Joseph Tan always hold us down. We appreciate you, brother. Shout out. Oh, Joyful One, we appreciate your membership. New member, just became a member of the channel. That's what's up. You know what I mean? Hit him up. Hit him with that applause there. Yeah. Welcome. Hit them. I don't know if it's a him or her. I just said hit it with that. It seems like a female. Joyful One. Thank you. And we got some Josie fans in there looking for us. I got pointed out there. That's what's up. So we'll get into it. I'll do the weekend recap real quick, which is brought to you by BoxOfficeMojo.com for the weekend of April 7th through the 9th. Here is the top 5 films in the box office. Scream 6 is number 5. Made another 3.4 million, which is now put it at 167 million dollars worldwide, and 103 million dollars domestic. So cool. Scream 6 did its thing. It's a good movie. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, 13.9 million this weekend, and it opened March 31st. So now it's at 123 million worldwide. It's at an even 61 million domestic and international, which brings it to the 123. When we have Air, made 14.5 million. That is the Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and a whole bunch of other cats did that film. That made 14 million over the weekend. It's at 30 million worldwide, 20 million domestic. It came out April 5th, so it just kind of came out 5 days ago. That's the movie about Nike when they first created the Michael Jordan Air Jordan shoe line, based obviously around Michael Jordan when he was coming out of college. John Wick Chapter 4 made 14.5 million over the weekend, brings it up to 268 million worldwide. And number one is the Super Mario Brothers movie. Made, oh wow, that did I say that was 14%? What does that say? That made 100. Wow. That threw me off. Didn't expect that. 146 million opening. What? Wow. I put my glasses on, but it's right. It made 204. It just opened on April 5th. It made $204 million domestic, $170 million international, which brings it up to $375 million worldwide. Opening. Whoa. How about that? Sunday, April 9th, which was just yesterday, it was up to 204 million. I mean, okay, Super Mario Brothers movie. So, yeah, I had to read that again. I wasn't sure. I know I didn't go see it. But hey, maybe I'm the only one because it's sure there's a lot of people there. Anywho, that's your weekend recap for the that is the weekend recap for your this week. And let me bring this down. I know someone said I have an echo, so we'll bring it down a little bit.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
You hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Good. Can you hear me now? Good.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a little echo effect or something like that was going on. I put my board back up, so I think I have it. I think I got it back. I think I got it back. All right, let's get Kevin here. Kev, did the echo go away for you?
No, you still got it.
No,
It must be your room. It must be the room that you're in.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me bring it up here. Yeah, I'm still hearing it, but oh man, do you hear it
so
still,
bad.
Ralph? Yeah, I think it's because I bought
much better now.
Yeah, it's better. Okay,
it's better now.
Okay, we'll go with that. What up, brother?
What's going on? Hello, everybody. And don't feel bad. I didn't see Mario Brothers neither. I really thought it was a typo. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?"
Bro.
No, why would y'all be kidding about that? The kids are out of school this week. The kids are out of school.
Oh, that's true.
Starting on
Easter,
Thursday.
there was like the Easter weekend or something, or spring
I
break.
I was still like, wow. I mean, when I think Thursday it took like $55 million on a Thursday. I was like, what?
Yeah, but my grandkid, I was too tired to go, but I paid for tickets for my daughter and my grandson to go, and my granddaughter to go, and they went on Thursday on open. No, actually they went on Wednesday. No.
Yeah, because it opened on. I didn't even realize it was open on a Wednesday. I was like,
that's the other reason why that number. That's the other reason why that number is high, because it opened on a Wednesday. Because I think
kids was
You know what? Yeah, because they went because I bought the tickets for them to go on Wednesday. They went on Wednesday of last week.
Yeah.
So that number totally tracks between opening on a Wednesday and then Thursday. Kids are out of school basically Wednesday, Thursday, and all of this week they're going to be out of school up until Monday. I guess the kids go back to school on Monday. I know here in New York.
Yeah, spring break.
Yeah, that's true. This is
so
true.
That number totally tracks.
Wow.
I mean, just like with the holiday season, everybody keeps saying that the movie theaters are back, but they're only back during times when people want to have something to do with their kids and not be stuck in the house with them all day.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think the movie theaters are. They're slowly coming back, but they're not back to their normal state of. Yeah.
So
celebration
went on.
You take a look at that box office. You got movies.
Well, I mean, it's definitely making its way back. Yeah. No, it's making its way back, but there's a lot of movies that are just not being. You're still not making that money.
I'll put it like this: watch the
Dungeons and Dragons ain't making the money that you would think, and they opened. They didn't even pick up their money. Didn't even pick up like it should have probably over this weekend. Everybody's seeing Mario Brothers, but
I think that's the case. I don't think anybody would have saw Mario Brothers opening like this. It's like what?
But again, but why not? It's a kids movie. It's a kids movie that's been advertising since September of last year. My grandson and my granddaughter both been like, "Oh, can we go see that?" Since September of last year, when they started screening trailers for this movie. So this movie is just like how Sonic did. It did with the anticipation. And I'm not surprised by these numbers at all.
I'm a little surprised by this height over the first weekend.
Yeah,
and we're open.
If it was an
140 million,
if it was overall number, I'd be like, yeah.
Just that kind of threw me off, but it's all good for them. But
no, not even for opening. Again, the reason why I'm not surprised by these numbers for opening weekend is the weekend that it opened on. It opened on Easter weekend. And the other thing too is we're living in a generation of people who are not like our generation of people who on Sunday would classically be in church all day from morning until mid-afternoon. Most people are either, like Ralph said, at work or if they're home, they're like, okay, get the kids dressed up and go to the movie.
Dinner. Man, let me tell you, I would have went to see it Saturday. I wouldn't been able to see it Sunday when I was coming up. At that time, Sunday, about 3:00 in the afternoon, we all sitting around the table, quoting Bible verses before we eat. So we was definitely my favorite, Jesus Webb. the easiest one, so I could say what I had to say so we could eat. But yeah, that's cool though. So Star Wars Celebration was over the weekend and over there in Europe, and lot of exciting things, announced. One thing that we did, we know that Ahsoka series was coming anyway, and of course, my future ex-wife, Rosario Dawson, aka Ahsoka, was out there looking awesome.
3, 2, 1. Here comes the mother-in-law to knock one side the head.
No, my future
frying pan.
My future ex-wife, and then yeah, she was looking great, and that was out there. I mean, all the things announced. There's a new series. Well, there's Star Wars Visions Volume 2 coming out this year. Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures animated series coming out this year. Star Wars Ahsoka, as we know, comes in August. Star Wars Skeleton Crew, formerly Grammar Rodeo TV series, possibly 2024. Andor has a second season. The Acolyte TV series, Star Wars The Acolyte. Star Wars Lando TV series, so is in development. So a Lando Calrissian TV series is in development. Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie is in development. James Mangold's Ancient Jedi movie in development. Dave Filoni's Mando verse movie is in development. So they finally gave Dave Filoni his own movie, his own Star Wars movie. He may even get a couple of movies, but it's going to be his stuff. From what I was reading and what I heard, what I saw, it's pretty much going to be a movie that takes place during the Mandalorian era of the show that he does. So it's probably going to be like a compilation of all the different shows that he kind of helped develop during this Mandalorian era. So being the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, you might see all of them in his movie. This movie is kind of probably like some sort of thing that and it's going to connect to The Last Jedi. I mean, the Force Awakens. It's going to be everything in this movie, or if it's more than one movie, it will connect to The Last Jedi. I keep saying Last Jedi, to the Force Awakens. So then you have another Jedi Order movie in development. Star Wars Rogue Squadron movie. It says canceled. That was canceled. The Book of Boba Fett Season 2, it says status unknown. We're not sure. Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie canceled. I guess it was something he was producing himself. He decided not to do it. And then you have Star Wars. That might be canceled too. Rangers of the New Republic TV series, possibly canceled. Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy is in development still. So, I mean, it's just so much. Now, at the Star Wars, they brought out a lot of guests. You had, from what's my man's name? Fima Juma. I can't remember his name. But he's like, what is his name, man? The black dude, the only black director out there with them. He's now being elevated to an executive producer, actually, of the Mandalorian. Then you have, everybody. Carl Weathers was out there. They even brought out Hayden Christensen came out, just an interview. People was going crazy. But all these people were being so much love. And guess who didn't get any love? Kathleen Kennedy. Boy, oh boy. The Star Wars fans, they crack me up, man. They are the rudest. They are the most truest and rudest fans.
They are not rude. They are not rude. In that case, nope. In that case, when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy, they're doing exactly
well, they did
what
the
they're
same thing.
to.
They were rude. They wasn't as bad.
Nah, you can't.
I mean, it wasn't as bad, but they were also pretty rude to the young lady who plays Rey. What's her name?
Because nobody likes her for some reason.
Daisy Ridley. Yeah, Daisy Ridley was announced that there's gonna be whoever's doing there's gonna be like these other films, three more films. Excuse me, 3 more films that connect to the trilogy that she was starting at the end of the Rise of Jedi or the Rise of Skywalker, and she's going to be in them. But she's going to, it's going to fast forward. I think in this one now, she's going to be like a Jedi Master. So she's not the star of the films, but she's in them, and she's pretty much going to be.
And people are probably, I wouldn't be surprised if people aren't happy about it.
No, they're not. Of course they're not.
Nobody, and it's not to her fault. It's to Kathleen Kennedy's and them fault for making those trash. You know, I'm so glad that what's his face made it through unscathed. Driver. I'm glad.
Adam Driver,
yeah.
I
Adam
mean,
Driver.
Here's the deal, and I said this on one of the other fanboy sites that it was on there. I was like, look, I get it. You can express your dislike. That's your right. But whining and crying about it is going to do nothing. It's not going to change anything. She has the helm. The only way you're going to possibly get a change is if you stop supporting the movies. Stop supporting them. Stop supporting them. As long as these movies are pulling in millions of dollars.
No, whining and crying. The whining and crying did make a difference because we got the Mandalorian that we got. A lot of the stuff that we're getting now, we probably wouldn't have gotten without the whining and crying.
Well,
so some of that whining and crying,
we got this stuff because John Favreau. This was by chance because John Favreau and Dave Filoni happened to have met at some, at Skywalker Ranch. Didn't even know each other. They happened to have met there and, hit it off, so that they had a lot of things in common and decided to work on this series together. But that's why we got the Mandalorian.
Kathleen Kennedy still executive producer of all that stuff? Isn't she still the executive producer of all that stuff?
Yeah, she's of course.
So,
but she did get sidelined. They did. She's still a producer because of her
she still
contract.
runs Lucasfilms though.
Because of her contract. But I guarantee you, behind the scenes, she ain't running as much as it might seem. Because we're getting a lot of stuff that we wouldn't have gotten had she still been quote unquote still at the helm.
I get what you're saying, Kev, but I'm gonna say this as well. This is what I mean by the Star Wars fans, because they always complain about everything. They was killing George Lucas. Yeah. They was complaining about George Lucas when the prequels came out. George Lucas created this entire freaking universe, and they complained about him. So stop complaining or stop supporting. It's one of the two. If you're gonna complain,
pretty much,
then stop supporting it.
Well, that's like telling somebody. That's like telling somebody. You know what? That's like telling somebody who's married. But that's like telling somebody who's married. Honey, will you please stop complaining? No,
that's not telling because you married. It's a contract.
No, that's totally different.
You
thing.
Stuck with them. That's a whole.
No, it ain't a totally different thing. Let me tell you something. To these Star Wars fans, there is no. To these Star Wars fans, there is the contract is when I spent money to start purchasing your product, I became your partner.
Well, that's.
Who told you that lie?
Sadly, that is wrong. Sadly, that is wrong.
That lie?
You have free will. You can do what you want, and you can buy what you want. But guess what? And you have your right to complain. But the bottom line is, it ain't gonna change nothing. If you want change, take a stand and stop supporting the films. Then you might get change. You might get change. But we'll get back to that on the other side of the interview and stuff like that. But yeah, man. But the Star Wars fans crack me up. I remember when the prequels came out, they was complaining about George Lucas. Oh, George Lucas this, George Lucas that. Man, George Lucas, after I watched that Light and Magic documentary, George Lucas gets a pass on whatever. Because this dude, we wouldn't have so many things if it wasn't for him. including Adobe Photoshop, including Pixar,
THX Sound, Pixar,
THX Sound, all of that stuff we wouldn't have. It wasn't
Morphin,
right? If it
Avengers,
was
all you Marvel fanatics out there, you ain't got
indirectly,
none of y'all wouldn't have got
Battlestar
one.
Galactica.
You wouldn't have got one single Marvel film if it wasn't Marvel or DC film without George Lucas. So let's give the guy the credit he's earned. Now, on that caveat, I'm a Star Wars fan, and on one hand, I get Kevin because listen, I did like The Force Awakens. I thought The Last Jedi was okay with the way they're going, but The Rise of Skywalker was just trash. I'm telling you, it was just trash.
That was right. And like I said, we'll talk more about it back on the other side of the interview. We got our guest in the green room right now, but yeah, man, it's like, and like I said, and the truth is, George Lucas can't write. He's not a good writer. He's a great concept person. He's a great idea person. He's not a great writer. He knows it. He knows he's not a great writer. And like I said, he said it himself.
But I can't legitimately say that because he wrote American Graffiti, he wrote Star Wars, he wrote the treatments for the 2 sequels and the Indiana Jones series.
A treatment is just ideas. The treatment
he wrote writing. But he wrote the entire 3 scripts to Star Wars, and someone came in and punched it up, which won't happen. So when he said to say, "I'm not a great
writer,"
they
didn't just punch it up. Watch that documentary. He says it out of his own mouth. I was watching it. Yeah, he says it out of his own mouth. He knows that he's not a great writer, and that's fine. But he's a mastermind, when it comes to the concepts and story concept and actually writing it. Meaning, and when I mean by writing, I mean dialogue. He's not a good let me rephrase that. He is not a good dialogue writer. So story wise, but dialogue is a big part of the presentation of the story. So we'll get more back to that. Like I said earlier, we have a guest with us, and we'll talk a little bit about this documentary as well with the Brooke Shields documentary, Pretty Baby. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on Hulu. Very interesting watch, well put together, but in some parts, at least in my opinion, a little cringy. These things happen, unfortunately, when you're dealing with these type of subjects. But I want to get her opinion on it as well, find out what she's up to. So everybody just welcome our guest of the night, Mrs. Josephine Webb. Dad, you said, "What's up, Josie?"
That's when you should have had the echo effect going.
Yeah, I should have put the echo effect. What up, Josie? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. Josie and I go back kind of little ways. I remember when her children were children, when they were like actually little.
Oh yeah, long time.
Yeah, we worked together a couple times. So which is why I call her Josie. But anyway, welcome to the show. We wanted to, I was gonna start talking about the documentary a little bit. We'll get your thoughts on that. But before we get into that, I wanted to kind of like, catch up with you. Number one, you've been doing a lot of things, doing big things. And, that's what's up. You started out in the industry, modeling, and, now you've advanced, you still model, you go in, you're a writer, you're a filmmaker, you're a storyteller, all of that stuff, which all kind of comes with it, right? So let us know what some of the things you've been working on, and just give us a little heads up, little catch up.
Okay, well, I don't know where to start because it's been so long, and we haven't had our personal.
I know we haven't had our private catch up talk, right?
I know. So, where do I start? Well, I just finally completed for the first time ever. I wrote a script with a writing partner. I mean, my husband and I created a web series, and my husband also went on and created a feature film. So I was inspired by him to create something of my own. I do have a partner. Someone actually came to us with the idea of I don't want to give too much away, but the idea was amazing, and I thought I could definitely sign on to this, especially if I get to play the lead, of course. So that really inspired me. But the story itself is pretty amazing. So I was really happy to work on this. We collaborated. It was so fun. Like every day, I couldn't wait to come home, and we would set up our what is it called, final draft, and we made this amazing. I think it's an amazing script. Hopefully, everyone else will, especially once we get it produced. So that's super new for me and exciting. So, but I'm still, my husband and I still pushing. We have our own production company, and he has an amazing biopic feature film that we're putting together for it's a civil rights piece. So that's exciting. We're trying to get that out before voting starts up again, because it plays a lot. So we still have our clothing line going. So hopefully we can add on to that eventually once we sell these scripts. We can make some more clothes. But
I know how that works.
Yeah.
So you're doing that. So we got to add that to your title too. So
Yes,
now
you
you produce clothing. You're like a designer now.
We created a line. My husband created the print of our first design, and we still have our signature line that we're pushing. We were just at the Black Expo in February in Atlanta, and that was a lot of fun. We did kind of well there. Yeah, we're in a few stores. So
that's what's up.
The
All right,
best
well,
is,
next time I'll let you slide this time, and next time you come to Atlanta, you gotta pull up.
Definitely, for sure,
all
for
good.
sure. I keep thinking you're still in Florida.
No, man, I left that godforsaken place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm out of there. No, that's cool. I mean, you're doing big things, man, and I love it. I love you staying busy, doing your thing, and it's got to be. I know it's a lot, but it's got to be exciting to be able to work, especially obviously, you're married to someone that's a like-minded individual who does, does what you do, loves what you do, and loves what he does. So that's got to be a great thing,
Everyone, we inspire each other.
Yeah, it's nothing better than that. So that's awesome. And also, one of the other reasons why we had you up here is because based on these topics that we was talking about, you also, like I mentioned, you have children, but one of them is a model. Right? And you're managing her, which is awesome. With all of that going on,
Oh yeah. And it doesn't end.
It doesn't end. So you end. So Trinity, you've been managing her, and when did you know? Like, when did she? I know she got into it very young.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. From the gate. Actually, she's so funny because her first casting, I think she was 3. Her first book, she was 6 months. I'll never forget. It was for Baby Talk magazine. Nice. And she had like a lot of hair when she was born. And they put a hat on her. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna put a hat on. She has too much hair. People may think she's older." And I'm like, "It starts already." They're gonna think she's older. She's 6 months. How much older does she look?
Yeah.
But I don't get that. But I think they want her to look like a newborn, whatever. And I guess usually I don't know. But her
let me ask you a question. Was the people who said that those casting people, they were white, right?
Yes.
The reason why, no, I'm not trying to be funny, but the reason why they said that to you is because black and brown babies, well, mostly brown babies, because we're all brown, are we the majority of us, especially the newer kids that are born in these last few decades, they're coming out with heads full of hair. I don't know what it is. My daughter came out with a head full of hair, and she was born in '93. Okay. So my both of my grandkids, except for my granddaughter, because they have Irish in their family, so her hair was a little thin when she came out. But my grandson came out head full of hair.
Well, Trinity's she's half Caucasian, and so her hair was bone straight, and it was okay. And she was very fair, so I think they were passing her probably as a Caucasian baby.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's why. That explains. There you go. That's what it is right there.
She was pretty light, so So
That
yeah,
is-
so they put the hat on her. It was sweet though. I wish I had the image. We lost contact.
Yeah.
Her agent never sent me the print, but it was still
No.
cute. But she was a
Oh,
bit of a
man.
diva at 1 year old. They gave her like a
That's
little
great.
thing, and she like threw
Gotta
it
love
and
it.
ran off the set. She was like, no, and yeah, she's a
That
special
is
one.
great. Nah, that's great, man. I
College
mean, it's
town, that
funny.
what's
Yeah,
that?
man. She looks a lot like you too. It's
Oh,
hilarious. I'm like, yo.
biggest compliment. Thank you.
Nah, it's
Um,
awesome.
that's her.
Yeah,
That picture her in
that's
college right now. We just
oh yeah,
her.
okay. Shout out to Trinity. You
Yeah,
know,
she's on
out
the
there
West
doing
Coast.
her thing. She on the West Coast. Okay, so it's probably about 6 something over there for her. Almost
Yeah,
7. So
yeah.
that's what's up, man. I mean, she doing her thing over. But I've been seeing her. When you look at her Instagram, that
Mm.
has a lot of her work on there. You really see that she's really really coming along. She's really working, and that's what's up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
oh yeah. So what I'm saying is with that, so she started very young. We know that, and so you kind of knew at that point she's probably gonna model too.
Hmm.
And when did she really start take to it? When did she take to it? Like, yeah, I want to do this.
Let's see. I mean, when she was 12, she walked in New York Fashion Week, and it was really funny because she was tall, like for her age. So she was the only child, pretty much. It was shows that I was doing, so I was like, oh, you got to use my daughter. So I was just trying to get her comfortable because she was a bit not shy, I would say reserved. She's not like me. I'm like a people person. I'm like razzle
Yeah.
dazzle. I talk and all that. And she's just very chill. I love that about her. She's a Libra.
Mhm.
And so she did start,
Yeah, Libra Nation.
right?
What's
Libras
up?
are so cool. Especially her.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Oh, see, you're a
Mhm.
Libra.
Yes, I am.
She would do shows when she was 10 years old. She would do live theater. I got her into live theater because I thought it would just help her with just being around people and stuff. And
Yeah.
I was so involved in it. It was a lot of fun when I could see her doing it, and I could tell on stage she loved it, and she was just my little light and sunshine.
No,
So
that's
when I
awesome.
got her, she walked Disney. This was in Disney World. She
Disney
walked
World.
in the show
Nice.
for what was her name? Farina. Oh, if she's watching, she's gonna be mad that I'm not getting her name right. But yeah, this lady was great. She cast at Trinity in this fashion show, and it was her first time at Disney. And we
that's
had so much. It was at the World Dolphin, I think it was the resort. The
Yeah.
Dolphin Resort at
Okay.
Disney. And look at her go. I was so proud of her because like
Doing
she's
it.
10 years old.
Flip the
Come on,
hair.
10
Yeah,
years old.
yeah.
So
Oh, she was 10 at that point?
yeah, I know.
Wow.
She always looks mature
Wow.
for her age. She has like refined features. She looks mature, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's
She never
awesome.
really has that little cutesy like but
And as you know, this is what you are, because you've been a model for a while, and
since I was
this
16.
is what they look. This is right. This is what they look for. She's got height, she's got the bone structure and the refined face, and things
Yeah.
like. And then she's learning from someone who
Uh,
is experienced. So that's
That
what's up.
helps. I wish I had that. I mean, she's
Right.
not so honestly, she's not really like me, as in she's not really into it like I am. I have a passion
Mhm.
about it. Although when I
Yeah.
started, it sounds cliche, but I was kind of discovered. I was 16. I was in Philadelphia. A designer stopped me. I didn't know anything about modeling, but once I started, I couldn't stop. And so I did want this for her, but she's just so chill. She could give two craps, to be honest with you. I give her all these jobs. Like she has like 5 agents in New York, and I get her all the work just through my clients and just through the people I know. And
Awesome.
this is new. She just shot that in Santa Barbara 2
That's
weeks
dope.
ago. So she's
Dope.
in school now. She's in college. She's more so into that than modeling and everything.
Well, that's cool too. That's a good thing.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's the great thing. Well, the fact that she can do it, and
Exactly.
she's now gaining more experience in it. So when
Mhm.
she's ready, she'll circle back to it and put more time into it. But it's good that she's doing the school thing.
Thank you. I
That's
agree.
always a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, as relation, did you get a chance to see the the documentary. The Brooke Shields doc.
I've watched a lot of clips on it. I've watched a lot of interviews. Yeah.
And I'm sure you know about Brooke Shields. You're a model, so I know
course.
you studied models coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know you know, and you don't even have to see the documentary because
Well, she's older than me, but like when
that's what I said. You probably, I'm sure you probably studied her coming up as
I
you got
remember,
more in the
yeah.
modeling.
My sister had her a Barbie doll actually.
Oh wow.
80s, 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
we were fans of hers, yeah, for sure.
I mean, most people were, and I mean, just the thing is, her starting very young as well, obviously, and the way her career went. I mean, she had a great career-wise. She had a great career.
Oh, very
you know what I
successful.
mean, right? Awesome, but the way it was, the mismanagement, I should say, of the whole thing. I mean, I know even if you didn't get a chance to see the documentary yet, you probably saw clips from it. And even if you did, once you do, it's a little cringe, some of it, because I know as a mother, I'm sure as a mother and as a mother manager of a model, you're probably looking like, man, Brooke's mom she didn't handle it right. She kind of left Brooke in the hands of all of those people. And that was just terrible. And we all know, you gotta watch out for these things. This industry is very, it has its highs, but it has a lot of lows. And meaning like people, the people that's involved, they want to take advantage, they want to do things like that. And I think it's great that you are nurturing your daughter from such a young age in this business, because this one, it's a mom and a man. Those are two different jobs. They're two different jobs. You have to handle them differently. You got to be a little more objective with certain things when it comes to being a manager on the business side. Obviously you're a mom first, so you still gotta, if you gotta swing on somebody, or flip on somebody, I get it. But I feel that it's happened too much in this industry. It's very unfortunate.
It is.
And when you first decided to manage her, when you first decided to say, I'm gonna manage Trinity, did any of that craziness go through your head, like, man, I hope, or did you already know where to take her? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you use yourself as the example? Because I'm sure people, everyone's done. I'm sure you've had some encounters and people, trying to be shady. Tell me about that. How did you, think about that? Did that go through your mind at all?
For sure. And you're 100% right. I definitely knew to protect her from a lot of things because she was so young. I knew she would never be alone, like on the job, never. Even now she's 18. And that's the first time I had her do a swimsuit. She did a fashion show in the Hamptons at 18 in a swimsuit. But I was really protective of her and like being exploited. I wasn't having any of that. She was getting paid to model clothes. And this, what you're showing, she was doing wigs actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but I did have some horrible encounters. As a matter of fact, two of the top designers I've worked for are now in jail. And
wow.
So my daughter actually met one of them, but she was with me. She was a child. And it was just funny because when they interviewed her, they were like, oh, do you want to grow up and be, model for this designer? And in my mind, I was like, that would never happen. And this guy he's in jail, like I said.
Yeah, he's in jail where he belongs, apparently.
Pretty much. And so that part did scare me. But the fact, like, as years go by, as she got older, like now, I feel like the industry is so much more safe. The whole Me Too really saved a lot of these girls, I feel. Even the agencies are like not really taking on girls under like 18, like to walk for big designers. They don't usually usually they sing you overseas. They wait now until you're 18. Like the biggest agencies were like, when she's 18, we'll talk. Because I was pushing her at 16. I was trying to get her with Elite and Ford, and they were just like, you know, we like to take them at 18 because they can't do big accounts at, you know, 16, you know, younger than 18. It's just a legal thing in New York. I don't know about other places, but I was grateful for that because she was really into high school. She wasn't really into, you know, her senior year. Her one agent kind of dropped her because they had all these like request castings, and she was like, "No, this is my senior year. That's my priority."
Exactly.
So
No, that's all.
yeah, she's more so about school and education, which I'm so grateful to because you know, it's a safer place, let's say. But nowadays, I think the industry is better. I really do. With this whole
It is okay.
That's how what
Yeah,
I've experienced.
it is better. It is better on both ends. On the modeling side, I mean, you're telling me now about the modeling side. On the film side, it's gotten a little better. You know, people a little more cautious. There's more things in place. You know, SAG has even when it comes, you know, they have like the intimacy coordinators that you
my
have
friend is
to
one.
right. You know what I'm saying? So that you have to you know, if you're doing a SAG film and it has any sort of intimacy in it, you know, they want you to have one on set. You know, so they're trying, they're doing more, and I you know, it hasn't fully cleaned up, but it's better.
It's
It is
better, and they're making sure 21, like usually they're using 21-year-olds to play high school students. They're not. I honestly, I can't believe Brooke Shields was doing those scenes at 11 and 15.
Yeah,
That would never happen nowadays.
She did a nude shoot.
Yeah.
At 9, you
Yeah.
know.
I don't. That was porn, right?
Yeah, 9 years old, and then like when she did Pretty Baby, she was like 11.
That's
You know,
disgusting.
it's disgusting. It's intimate scenes with grown men, and it's just so. Like I said, it was cringe to me, you know, and it's just like, you know, and even with like, her interviews on talk shows, the talk show hosts were so disrespectful, and they were like, you know, talking to her as if she's an adult, you know, and it's like she's trying to ask, well, what do you do for fun and blah blah blah, and she's like, well, you know, I'm just like a normal kid, you know. She says, I'm like a normal kid, I'm a normal girl, you know, and the rebuttal from the scumbag that was the host was like, well, I can't really look at you like you're just a normal girl. Like, wow. I was like, you know, this scumbag. Yeah, it was like, and they were literally just like, they had the creepy look and the creepy smile on their face, just like, and then throwing all these in the windows, and it's so bad, you know. And unfortunately, and I saw Brooke, you know, you can see it in her face, you know, she really wanted to, you know, tell the truth. She didn't want to bring too much more shame to her mother, which is that's admirable, you know. But it was just the truth, you know. Her mom left her and left the people in charge. She would probably, you know, she'd show up, make sure everything was set up and everything was on the go, and then she would leave, you know, and go
That's
whatever.
not even allowed nowadays. Nowadays, you have to stay with your child. And like there was my daughter and I, we did Annie. We were just background, but they had like someone appointed to take care of her. When I had to be on this set without her, they had someone appointed to stay with her. So I can't even imagine. I wasn't even comfortable with that. But
no, I know it's wow. I remember my brother had a when we were in Orlando, they were doing modeling. You know how they do these model searches and stuff like that, and searches for your, you know, if your kid want to be on TV. Half that stuff you don't even know how real it is, because some of them they put on these things, and it's like, oh, all these different agencies will be there.
Yeah.
So my niece wanted to go really bad, so my brother took her out there, and they're like, yeah, so okay, she's, you know, she's great, she's got a nice height, and she's, you know, blah blah blah. So they kind of loved her, right? But they're just like, yeah, so okay, so now we're gonna do like a screen test with her, and it's like, so we're gonna take her into this room and blah blah. And my brother's like, no. It's like, that's not happening. They was like, yeah, we're gonna take her. So don't worry about it. You know, all the other parents are here, and we're gonna take Patience here, and blah blah. And he was like, you ain't taking Patience nowhere, not without me. And he's like, well, why can't I just come?
Yeah.
Oh, we just want to see if she can, be around without you and do the work and this that, and other, whatever.
Yeah.
But he was just like, okay, we're leaving. So it was just the way they were pushing so hard to get him away. He just wasn't with that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for acting, it's a little different. I'm gonna be honest. I did let her go in the audition rooms, and I waited because, like, she did one with Raven Simone for That's So Raven Part 2 or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
For Raven's daughter, and Raven was there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, no, that's a whole different thing.
I didn't know she was.
No,
in
that's a different thing. You know what I mean?
For acting, though, they do ask the parents to wait in the waiting room, and I only did that. She did it when she was 10, and I allowed it when her agent sent her, and I felt comfortable, and I would let her go, and she would say, "Mom, wait there."
Well,
she would be embarrassed with me there, which is weird.
Yeah. No, you going through an agent. That's another story.
Yeah,
this was just some straight casting call.
Yeah, those
type.
casting calls. Yeah, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I experienced that myself when I was a teenager. So I was like, we're not wasting our money like that. No, we can go right to the agencies. We're in New York City. Why?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But it's a lot of craziness with this, and it's just like I said. I really felt for Brooke. Watching her story.
Very sad.
And then she did talk about, I think she said for the first time ever publicly, she talked about this was not a model person, this was a movie person that sexually assaulted her. She was having like a business dinner with him for a role that allegedly she was supposed to get. And she was trying to get a cab, and he's like, oh, come up to just come up tomorrow, I'll call the cab for you. And she says okay. She goes, he disappears for like 15 minutes. She says, I don't want to just pick up his phone. She's like, and at the same time, I don't want to sit down because I'm not staying, and then she said the dude comes back completely nude and just basically forces himself on her. And then she explained, which a lot of victims this happens to, is so unfortunate and scary, right? Where she was scared,
That's right.
So she kind of she didn't really consent, but she kind of consented because she was scared. She was, because he was aggressive. He was a little, so she was scared that he was going to really seriously hurt her.
Oh my God.
And so she just let, and then she talks about how she learned at a young age to disconnect herself from her body. And that alone made me very sad to hear that she had to learn to disconnect herself from the moment, have almost an out of body experience, and just like boom. Because even when they would, she was being used to do these the provocative ads and things like that, she just like, well, I never looked at it like that because I just saw it as acting, and I just kind of disconnected and did what they told me to do. And like I said, career wise, she had this big career, and she was, everyone wanted to work with her because she was so submissive. You know what I mean?
Oh,
what she was doing was disconnecting from it and kind of like leaving her body.
Oh my gosh!
As everything went on,
that's
sad. That's crazy. So she tapped into that when the sexual assault happened. It was just tragic. I feel for her, but that whole disconnect, and that happens a lot in quote unquote Hollywood. I kind of brought you on as an expert on the modeling side because I don't know much about that world.
It's pretty similar, but like I said,
not the exact, but
I believe it's a little better now in my experience. I mean, I'm older, so of course, and that's funny because I noticed when I was younger, like maybe in my 20s, the way clients would be towards me, like when I go for jobs, were very different than if like a younger friend, and they would tell me like things, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? I just did a shoot and it was fine, because I remember I did a shoot in Cabo, Mexico. My agent sent me. It was supposed to be for a car, but it was just a random shoot. I don't know. But it was fine. Like, I didn't get assaulted. But yet the same client, when I brought my girlfriend who was 19 to like an agency party, and she met the same client, he was hitting on her. And I was like embarrassed because this is her first time being exposed to this industry.
Yeah.
And
because they are pers.
Oh.
And they reach out early. And I could talk about the modeling side because a friend of mine, Renard, he's locked up now, but I got into modeling because I used to hang with him because he used to do stuff up at Bear Mountain and some other stuff that they used to do. And you could just see the creepy creeps just walking around. And then you have also the women casting agents who are in the loop with them, some of them.
Well, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah,
that's bad.
She knows what I'm saying is right. She knows what I'm saying is absolutely right.
Wranglers. They call them wranglers, right?
Yeah,
Wranglers, yeah.
Oh, Lord, that's why and that's one of the reasons why I completely sidestepped that and got more into music than dealing with modeling, because it just some of the stuff that I saw, I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't deal with it. And like you said, it's a similar thing with when you move over to the movie side or the film side.
Yeah.
It's all about, these cats leveraging their positions of power, so to speak, to try to get what they want. And like you said,
they know these kids, some of these kids, they know that they like this is like something that some of these kids really want to do. Like they want to make this. They're looking forward to being the rest of their life seeing as whoever they are, but on the bigger stage. And these pervos just they take advantage of that.
They take advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Predators. Exactly. They're exactly.
So I was fortunate because I was older when I was really getting a lot of work. And thank God they didn't come to me because I was like 24 and older. That's when I worked my most in the industry.
Yeah.
And so thank God I didn't know because I was naive and stuff, but they really want the like the 19, like 18, like when you're so young, and you're just like wide-eyed, bushy tongue, like, oh, I just want to be a star, and they're like, you can be a star, So
my God.
Because of the naivety of being
the young, the innocent.
So once you started really working and you was in your 20s,
I was old.
They kind of felt like okay,
she knows
we can't
better.
get nothing over her.
Yeah, she's smart now. She's hip to this whole thing now. We gotta lay it back.
And I didn't play that whole like I wasn't not victim, but like you said, when you're younger and you're just so passionate, like I'll do anything for it. That's what they want. It's like, oh really?
That's what they want. Yeah.
But I was never like
they want the naivety.
That's what they want. They crave it. That's what the predators are looking for.
Yeah. And it's so one thing is with you being there, being for your daughter and being experienced, and the fact that you mentioned she's like ho hum, I'll do it, I won't do it, whatever,
No,
so,
she's not like that.
Yeah.
she's not so much.
So it's like, so they won't, maybe that, and hopefully that award them off as well. You know what I mean? Because like you said, the ones that are like seem desperate because they really want to just do this,
Yeah,
those are the ones that they feel they look at and say, okay. But if they a little more chill, like Trinity's a little more chill with it, they may not even look her direction, hopefully. You know what I mean?
This is what I don't understand about this whole thing. One, the A of this whole question is, or part of my statement is, why are if enough, and I'm just going to say women because because there are male stars that do get taken advantage of too.
Oh yes,
but
most
for the most part, I don't understand why there aren't more people out here specifically navigating these waters, because literally it's water. that they're navigating through with sharks. And there's nobody to navigate them to be like, you know, to warn them like, hey, even though you're playing in the shallows, you're trying to, you know, you're not going out in the deep, or you're standing on a sandbar. And if you step off the sandbar, a shark can still come get you.
Oh, totally.
Like,
that's why you need an agent, you know? That's why you need protection. And that's why a good friend of mine was saying to me, you should start your own, like, you know, something
agency.
Yeah, she was like, just to prepare them. She's like, because someone like me, if I come to New York, I'm not going to know who's going to rob me and who's not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do have all this resources. So my husband and I were thinking maybe we should, but
you might. I might.
No. Listen. It's no maybe you should. It's no maybe you do it, because that's where my
knowledge.
That's where my question was going. Like, why isn't there? And if you and your husband are talking about doing it, it needs to be done. Period.
It's almost like the equivalent of an artist development type of deal for like if they were artists, like singers or even actors. Right? You know what I'm saying? And development is like, you know, an artist development that
Motown did it, and look what happened.
Oh, good point.
Right. And at least your focus is more on modeling at first. You may branch off to acting and things like that. That's when
that's what he wanted my husband wanted to come in with that aspect and bring in like some casting directors. But I am considering, especially after this, because the truth is I do have a lot of resources and I really can be of help to people that are just starting. I mean, I feel like I've done pretty well with my daughter. And I mean, she just Ford last week. She was here for spring break, and due to like just knowing
Ford models.
Yeah, they called her in and they did some digital. So, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, I've done better for her than her agents. Like I said, and I'm like, wait, I got her a magazine cover. I got her some catalog work. I can do this stuff, you know, like
you can do it.
I have some friends that I hooked up like, hey, you know, she's like, my one friend's like 5'10" and a size 2. I'm like, girl, you should be working, you know, come on. So, and
I mean, you have the main thing is you have the knowledge, you have the experience,
connections,
and connections. Oh yeah, connections is big. You know what I mean? You got
good ones that aren't perfect.
Yeah. Exactly. Real don't say just good ones, real ones.
Yeah.
Real ones
well,
that
are actual
not,
magazine work, and you know they've been
not what we call guy with cam.
Yeah, no, none of those. None of those guys with cam.
You have photographers, and then you have guy with cam.
Yeah, not the same. Yeah.
Not the same. So that's what's up. You know, the fact that you know these people, you have these people on your. You know, it does help.
And really I would like to help other people. So I do agree with, you know, looking into trying to gather some people that are interested and give them the knowledge and maybe the way and the safe way. Because it's all about getting an agent. And they have this thing nowadays they didn't have when I started. It's called Mother Agent. So I'm actually working on getting my daughter one because the mother agents place them into bigger, like all over the world. Like, so... I mean, I don't have those resources. So that's why I'm always trying to go higher than what I can do. I could take it at a certain level, then I have resources that can take her a little further. So
Mother Agents. Wow, I've never heard of that. That's interesting. Now wait, you know, what exactly do they do?
They place the models into like bigger agencies. And so they know the right fit, and they also set them up for the agents to, you know, want to take them on. Like they'll get them the right photos, you know, and all those sort of things. Like my daughter has a meeting in the beginning of May, so I'm excited with a really good one. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So like now, so when you said that, you know, Ford worked with her, now they
took digitals, so they're considering
they took digitals.
her.
What does that mean?
So they called her in because a friend of ours who's with Ford, she sent it to her booker. And our booker said, you know, bring her in. Let's meet her. We like what we say. So our friend brought her in and they took digitals. It's just like snapshots of her with just no real hair and makeup, you know, just simple T-shirts and jeans. And they just want to see the model because the client knows what they could do with you. So they don't want you all hair and makeup and all dressed up. They want you so simple. So they took like a bunch of different shots. And then he said, we'll show it to our board. Because he was more high fashion. She's not that tall, my daughter. So she's more like probably commercial, like you know, other brands like Fenty. She could do beauty. She has amazing hair. She could do some hair ads. So there's other divisions she can go into. So.
Yeah. For the listeners, just in case you don't understand what she's saying, what she's saying is they want y'all no makeup pretty. That's what they're asking for.
Right.
Well, they want to see.
They want you. They want to see you without layers and without eyelashes. They want to see the natural you.
Yeah,
exactly.
They can do what they need
to
do.
Yeah, because they can mold you, right? They can make you whatever. So they need to see what they're working with. So they
exactly.
Your eyes, nose, mouth. You know, they want to see your face. And sometimes makeup, you know, we use it to accentuate, but the agents don't want to see that, and the clients don't want to see that because
exactly. Because see, what did she just? You know what she just did, y'all? She just told the truth on live air. Makeup is a lie. It's the devil.
I said makeup accentuates what you already have.
Wow.
This guy.
It accentuates. It takes what's there and makes it nicer, you know?
No, of course,
like, I take off my red lips and my lips are going to be the same, you know?
Right.
But the red lips make them look prettier.
Make them look
pretty. No, they do pop. One of my exes, she used to use, I don't know what, she broke her neck trying to get this orange from Fashion Fair.
Oh.
Because this orange, but no, this orange looked crazy on her lips though. I'm keeping it a buck. Like, I don't know what the name of the orange is, but it was this specific orange from Fashion Fair. She would not wear no other makeup. She only wore Fashion Fair makeup, and it was that specific orange that she would throw on her face. And when she put that on her lips, oh my God, her
wow.
So
I heard, you know, Candace always wears Trump orange. So anyway. Anyway, a little laughing there. But you know, Josie, I have it's funny. I now having you here, you know, I feel like bringing you back for another show where we maybe get a panel going and get some inspiring artists, some aspiring models and things like that, and kind of do a little something with that, have you up in here. But I do have a little blast from the past for you that I'm going to share with you right now in the world.
Oh boy, here we go. You want to embarrass me?
No.
Wes.
Let's see. No.
Brain Freeze, where 3 teams compete in a timed match of trivia that challenges even the most knowledgeable, with multiple answers required in a mere 15 seconds. Contestants move forward on the board, but are required to take a chance twice during every game, which can be helpful or not so helpful. Be careful, the answers may seem easy, but the incredibly fast time limit may cause brain freeze.
Welcome to Brain Freeze. I'm your host, Trey Morgan. Name 3 patriotic symbols.
3, 2, 1.
Arkansas, Staten Island, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan.
Wow, that was incredible. Move up one spot.
That's all I got.
Brain Freeze.
Brain Freeze.
Brain Freeze.
South Carolina.
Congress. You're now on the take a chance box. Could be good, could be bad. We'll find out.
Move back one space.
Name 2 federal holidays that fall on a Monday.
Memorial Day, Columbus Day.
Yes, correct. Name 3 winners of American Idol.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, my mother was not watching.
I know this.
Prancer, Dancer, Rudolph.
Correct, you win.
So we did. That was so cool, right? We did. That was just for some context, people. As you can see, we saw Josie there with Trinity. She was very young at the time, and you know, she, you know, they came down because we were doing a test pilot for a game show that was developed by one of my colleagues, Sherman Sawyer. He had actually a board game called Brain Freeze that he created, and so he hired me to do a test, you know, like a proof of concept type of pilot for it. And that's what we did. We got a little small studio. I invited a lot of people down. Josie came down with her daughter. It was so cool, man. And we had fun.
We did.
Also, my man Biscuit. You might some people online recognize. He goes by the tag It's Biscuit. He's got like 500,000 followers. You know, and he does a lot of blogging. So he was there and a lot of other people, but it was cool though. But I said, hey, I found this maybe about a week ago. I was like, I'm gonna hold this in the pocket for
wow. That's
one day.
sweet.
So that was
I
cool.
loved it. Good
Y'all
memory.
have fun, man. It was a pretty cool thing. We shot it a few times and then I edited that together. Nice little. That was like a compilation that we edited.
Mm-hmm.
We shot like maybe 5 games or something like that. We shot because we had 2 different hosts too. We had him and there was another young lady who was hosting, just kind of like trying them out because if it was gonna get picked up, I liked how he did. He was good. He was a good host.
He was great.
But yeah, that's cool. But I mean, yeah, Josie, you got so much knowledge on this side and on both sides now, and it's like but I want to talk a little bit more before I let you go. I want to talk a little bit more about the movie side of things.
Okay.
When did you make that switch? Because I know I always kind of just thought about you in certain roles, and I was like, oh, let me hit her up. Hey,
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure if you were even into that yet on that side. Because I always knew you as a model.
Yeah, when you would call me, I pretty much just started doing acting. It was a smooth transition though, because modeling, I feel like it is acting, but when you're younger and they want you to do acting, you're like, no, I'm a model, and really. But to me, it's very similar because when you're posing and stuff, you're wearing wardrobe, you're becoming a character. A lot of times when they've done so many crazy things to me when I was modeling. I had some clean thing once.
You are kind of acting. Yeah,
you're totally becoming the wardrobe, whatever that I was in body paint once, like nude, which was, I was a little shy, but I was able to become this more, I had to move my body because I was only paint. So to me, the acting was very natural. And I started to take classes back in the day and I really started to take it serious. And then when I met my husband,
I'm about to say, when did you get the bug? When did you get the bug to really be like, I want to act, man?
I know, right? I joined SAG in 2005.
Okay.
So I've been in the union for quite a long time. And so
that's what I like about you. You do everything. You go hard or go home. That's what I like about you. Like, when you're like, you're not just doing it, you take it serious. So to go ahead and join SAG means you're taking it serious. You know what I mean? Because you want to get, you want to do it the right way. So that's what's up. Just like you said, when you started modeling, but then you was getting the different things, getting with the agencies, things like that. You're now projecting that with your daughter. You're getting her into serious doors, getting her into, that's what I'm talking about.
Because of all the knowledge, I got to go higher. And the truth is, after meeting my husband, he, like I said, he really inspired me to take the acting so serious. I was still kind of focused on my daughter at the time for a few years until now she went off to college and left me. But so now I could really focus back. Yeah. So I was happy to write this script. And like I said, I would like to be the lead. So, I'm just now, I think, starting back into the acting again, seriously, because I did take off a few years to focus on her. And it was kind of crazy because she didn't really care for it. Like I said, it was more like my passion. But she always enjoyed it. I must add that in there. It's not like she didn't. When she didn't want to do something, she was very clear about it. And I respect whatever she wants. Like her agent got her this casting at Warner Brothers for the claws with the
claws,
Healy something, I don't know. So
I
had
know the show.
Moved to Atlanta for 6 months, and they really wanted her to portray her daughter. And my daughter that day decided, no, I do not want to act anymore. And her agent wanted to kill her and me. And they were like, I said, listen, I cannot.
Wait, she was supposed to be whose daughter? Carucci's daughter?
One of the leads. But we were supposed to move there for 6 months in Georgia, and she was not having it. She was like, I don't want to act anymore. Like that day. And she was doing it before. But now I'm like, oh my God, because you can't force them if they, kids, if they don't want to
Nah,
do it,
you
they don't
can't.
wanna
If they
do
don't
it.
want to do
So
it,
I
they don't
told our
want to do it.
agent, I'm
You don't have to
sorry.
hate it.
And
Yeah,
they're
you
like,
know.
you got to drop her. And I'm like, well, so be it.
Oh, your daughter would have been perfect for that role too.
Really?
Because that Claus was my show.
Okay.
I was sitting here trying to figure. I was like, which daughter is she talking about? But now I remember.
Niecy Nash's daughter.
No, not Niecy. No, Niecy Nash didn't have a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her best friend's husband. They had they had two adopted kids.
Okay.
Okay.
And one was black, and the other one was and the other kid was white. And the kid that they adopted was one of her friend's babies. I can't remember what happened to the friend, but it was one of the friend's babies.
I don't think that was it because of the script they gave her. I think it was a girl that lived next door, but I don't know. She was supposed to film for 6 months, so I don't know. But it was some woman that lived next door.
Well, that was probably in season one. I don't remember much from season one. But there was a daughter in there, but the daughter was but she was an adopted daughter, and the kids were about 12. Yeah, the kids were about 12
at that time, so maybe it was her. Yeah.
Wow.
No.
That's either way, she was like, nah, I don't want to do it.
Did she? Warner Brothers. She was like, no. So I was like, okay. And
she just didn't want to do it. Did she ever express why she didn't want to do it? She just didn't feel it.
She just said she didn't want to. And she gets like that. That's what my husband, he's like, he gets mad whenever she says to me, like, oh, okay, I'll model. And I get all excited. He's like, oh God. Because he knows she could easily be like, no, I don't want to anymore. She does it like this.
Hey man, she's at that age, man.
But you're a good parent because you're a good parent. You're a good parent because some parents would be like, you know what? You're making me get up every day to come do this stuff. Here's an opportunity for you. Go do it. You're going to go do it.
Doing it.
Yeah. I should push it, like, because you got to follow through, right? If you commit to something, you should follow through. But I never ever do. I don't feel comfortable pushing. I really don't. And she's done it a lot of times where I felt like crap because I do work hard. I respect managers and agents because I know how much hard work it is. I see it. I've experienced it. So it does hurt when she's like, no. And I'm like, whoo, I went to get that. Like, really? And she doesn't even care how much it's paying.
Another blast from the past.
Another blast. Classic.
We were filming that the 7 to 7.
I love Valerie. I love Valerie.
And she's coming up behind her there. Yeah, that was fun too.
She's a like me. I've seen her a few times in Harlem with her hubby and her baby.
Yeah, she be moving. Shout out to Valerie.
Yes, shout out to Valerie.
Shout out. That's my homie. It's so funny. Whenever I say like a word that's close to the word series or anything like that, Siri comes up. Stop it.
Well,
series and series. Shut up.
That's so funny.
I understand you. I'm like, oh my God. But overall, Josie, man, we appreciate you coming on and chatting with us, and it's really good to catch up with you, and we're gonna get on the phone and catch up some more.
Yes.
On what you're doing, and you know what I mean, and you guys, next time y'all come back to Atlanta, definitely holler at me.
Oh, we'll be back.
You know what I mean? Yeah. If you're doing one of these events or anything like that, I'll pull up. I don't be outside, man. I be here. I don't be outside, yo. I'm just like, man, I'm good. I don't know. Dope, man. I'm just like, because a lot of the work that I get is editing. Okay. So I'm like, I'll just stay at home. I'm like, damn, but I'm like,
we'll get you out. We'll make you.
Yeah. I don't be outside, man. But yeah, definitely. Shout out to your husband.
Thank you.
And definitely Trinity. Tell her I said what's up.
She
did pop in the room for a minute. Yeah, she did pop. I saw her pop in the in the chat room for a hot second. I don't know if she's still
She
up
texted
there.
me. She said she did enjoy that little clip that you played of the game show. She goes, "Oh my god, I didn't see that." So that was cool.
So-
Maybe she's still
so,
on.
Trinity, shout out to you, Trinity. Keep doing your thing.
Oh,
Hit the
Trinity.
books. You know what I'm
She's
saying?
coming
Do
back
your thing
next
over
week.
there.
She has
Oh, okay.
week.
It's
She'll
like
be
a
in New York
break,
for
right?
2 days. No,
Okay,
she has a
perfect.
booking for 2 days.
Oh, a booking. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, good luck with that. And
Thank
just further, great success going on, man. I wanted to bring you on because this topic that we're talking about, we wanted to have a contrast to it. You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
we have the unfortunate topic of what happened to Brooke Shields. Then we have that contrast with you, who a successful model and
Thank
now are nurturing and teaching and coaching and managing your daughter and kind of like guiding her through the waters. So that contrast needed to be seen. That's why we wanted you to come on this particular show. But you're welcome to come back any show and kick it, with us. We always talk about these things. We love talking, but you heard us. I'm sure you heard us when you was backstage.
Oh yeah,
going at it about Star Wars.
Star Wars, yes.
Yeah,
I
but
imagine. I don't know that world too much.
no, it's all good.
You guys were having fun, so it was fun.
Yeah,
watching.
exactly. It's all the trending stuff that's going on, and that's what was going on this weekend. But yeah, man, definitely shout out your social media and stuff like that, where people can find you. Oh, one other thing, since I mentioned social media, it reminded me. Another thing I'm giving you credit to. I know we dropping a lot of compliments to you, but gotta give you your flowers and let you know that you're doing a good job. I remember you also work her Instagram page.
I do.
And I think that is big.
Oh.
That's so big. Because I remember somehow I got some sort of DM or something from it, and I remember I hit you up and you're like, "Oh, that's me."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Because I'm like, I knew it was your daughter, but it took me a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, she looks older and stuff like that. And I'm like,
She does have a mature, but yeah,
I'm like, I know her, but this is a young girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you was like, "Oh, that was me." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, good."
Oh yeah. If someone writes hot, I block them. I'm like, I don't like any. No, you can say beautiful, pretty. Yeah, hot. No,
But hot.
go.
No, you. I love it. I love it. I love it. No, you're right.
This is
you're
not
right.
an appropriate term to use.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's what you're supposed to do. You start saying hot, smoking, or the fire signs.
We're not having that.
Nah,
No.
you gotta go. You gotta
If it's
go.
one of my friends, they could get a pass.
Right. Yeah, no, that's different though. If it's like a friend,
But a guy
somebody know
and a
that's
stranger.
Oh, she looks great.
That's why I
yeah.
run it, because we're not having any of that. No.
Well, we commend you on that, because it's you people. I know you obviously realize, but it's so important, man, to protect these children, man.
Yes.
And I know she's getting older now. She's 18 and stuff, and
Yeah.
but she wasn't always that.
Yeah.
And even now, it's her watching you do these things is going to help her make decisions when she becomes a full adult and making all her decisions. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
So it's
Doing well.
always good. Huh?
I said, I
She's
hope
doing
so.
well.
I said she's doing extremely well so far. So I think
Yeah.
been doing good. So
I agree. Well, shout out to Trinity. Keep doing your thing. Keep doing it. Shout out your social media, Josie. Where can they find you if people want to hire you? Hire her.
Okay.
I said hire her. Don't ask her for nothing free. It's not yesterday's price. It's not today's price.
I'm fine with that. So it's Josephine _Webb_Danielson.
Okay, and that's where everyone can find you, right? And through her, if you are actually somebody that could give some work to Trinity, you go to her.
She's actually gotten work from IG, like a nice magazine stuff,
exactly.
good stuff.
Yeah, not everybody's creeps, not everybody are creeps. There's
No.
people that are actually trying to do work out here.
And you can
it's the creeps
investigate.
that mess it up for us. You know what I mean?
But investigate people. Google.
Yeah.
Check out, like on their page. Like this one lady that wrote to me to book Trinity, she had reference from models that she used from Trinity's agency. So she was booking her directly through me, but she was like, "Oh, we worked. She's in the same agency as Trinity. You can ask her, how it was working with us." So I appreciated that because she was giving me references, and the job went really well, and they paid her right there, and it was very good, very
Oh,
good.
that's awesome.
And that was
So
from
so if you want to book Trinity, go through her mother, and everybody comes out happy. That's what's
There you
up.
go. Yes.
So yeah, man. Thank you for joining us, Josie. Man, it was
Thanks for having
real
me.
good seeing you
You
again.
as well.
and talking to you, and we will talk again very soon. I'll be hitting you up, and we'll go from there, man. Thank you.
Sounds good. Have a good night.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
night.
Have a good night.
All right, Josie's in the building. All right, bye. And Josie has left the building. So, yeah, man. I just thought it was good to show that contrast of someone who's doing it the right way, doing her thing and protecting her daughter, and I as we was interviewing, I know what up, no nonsense, and she said she's back. She'll be right back. Okay, cool. I was gonna answer. She had a question when we was doing the thing. She was like, "What happened to where was Brooke Shields' mother?" Well,
She signed off on it.
she has signed off on it and kept it moving. She had a drinking problem, unfortunately, and she is she was looking for the nearest bar. Honestly, it sounds wrong, sounds bad, but it is what it is. She was looking for the nearest bar, and that's where she went. It's a really, really sad situation. And like I said, Brooke Shields was really trying to not, shame her mother, which is, like I said, it's admirable for her to do that. But she knew she had to tell the truth, though. Her mom just wasn't good at that side of the things because of her, alcoholism and stuff like that. And kind of left Brooke, out there, you know unfortunately. So she kind of raised herself in the business. She was able to, because she was very mature for her age, very articulate and stuff like that. And she would do, because think about it, she was so young doing all these interviews, and they would ask her some of those questions they asked her was tough, for a young child at that age, 11, 12 years old, and like I said, they were the perverts were basically trying to ask her stuff that they shouldn't even have been talking about with her. And then you had the ones that were like straight disrespecting her mother to her face, like as if the mother wasn't sitting there with her. Yeah, how do you feel, Brooke, when these magazines write and newspapers write about your mother and they say she's a drunk and she's this and she looks like that and her eyes are sunk back in her head and this, that, like talking as if the mother ain't right there sitting next to them. And Brooke has to answer this question. Like, really? You have an adult sitting next to you and you're asking the child about these questions? It was very weird. And then there was a scene when she shot Endless Love. She talked about the director of Endless Love. I can't think of the dude's name right now. He said on on national television. Now, how old was she? She shot Endless Love. She was like what, 13, something like that.
No, she was 16.
She was 16 when Endless Love was shot.
16.
16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's 16 now. So the guy, the old ass director, when asked, "Oh, so what made you wanna, get Brooke? What made you want to get Brooke Shields in here?" And blah blah blah. He's like, "Well, it was quite easy because I was like in love with her. I was literally in love with her, and it's like, what? You were in love with her, your old ass?" And I'm sitting there like, oh my god. And then she says that during one of the scenes, it's like the love scene or one of them, and he's like, "Oh, you have to have these faces of ecstasy," and they said the guy grabs her toe while they're shooting the scene, and he's like twisting it and just basically messing with her feet while they're actually filming the scene, trying to get a reaction out, because she was like, I didn't know what the face of ecstasy was. Like, I didn't know what that meant. So I obviously wasn't giving him what he wanted in the film. So he decided, takes it upon himself to grab her like big toe or whatever and squeeze it or turn it or whatever the hell he does to get her to wince or make some sort of, I don't know. I'm like, if you're trying to twist her toe, she said it was uncomfortable and like, almost hurt. So it's like, what do you mean ecstasy? Are you trying to get a reaction of maybe like first time or something like that, like it hurt or something like that? I don't know. Just creepy, weird stuff that you shouldn't have been doing, bro. You know what I mean? And just unbelievable. And all of that stuff, you keep going back to what No Nonsense asked. Where was her mother? Well, you could probably find her at the nearest bar. So it was just nerve-wracking. It became a little nerve-wracking to watch how all of the, and then all of that stuff, man, what she was subjected to at such a young age. So thank God that there are parents out there like Josie who care about their child. And I mean, obviously there's parents that care, but what I mean is, in this business, it's very easy for these parents, for some people, depending on the type of person you are, it's very easy for you to get caught up in the glamour and the lights and the this and the money and forget to be a parent. This is what I felt like I just said that like Bill Cosby. And the money and forget to be a parent. So, and that's pretty much what it was, look at, we mentioned one of the other shows. Look at, Jeanette McCurdy writes a book called I'm Glad My Mother's Dead. That's the name of the book. And she talks about, for the same reasons, her mother let things happen that shouldn't have happened to her. Thank God. Yeah, like he said, thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Nah, but in Heaven Hollywood said, thank God. Yeah, thank God Josie is one that really is navigating, because she's been through it. She's seen the ups and downs. She's seen the perverts of the model world when she was modeling. She was a successful model, working model, and she's able to guide her daughter through these shark-infested waters. And like she said, it's gotten better since the Me Too era. Now but like she said, because of the Me Too era, they even more so want to catch you when you're young. They always wanted to. They always wanted to catch you when you're young. You heard what she said. She said when she was 20, when she turned 24, she was getting a lot of bookings and getting a lot of work, but she wasn't getting as much perverts because they figured, she's already hip to it. She's older and hip to the game, so we can't really put much over on her. They probably approach the older women. They probably approach the older women on another level, like with the acting or some sort of big spot, whether it's a high, like a star spot or whatever the case may be, or an acting gig, a role. That's how they approach the older, because I believe Brooke Shields was probably at that time in her 20s when that happened, or maybe late 20s, 30s when that happened to her with the sexual assault. Because she was acting at that point like full time. She wasn't really modeling as much no more, as far as I know. And the person was and another thing, I should have brought this up when Josie was on, but we mentioned that Trinity is now in college, and she's doing the college thing. Nothing wrong with that at all, because ironically, Brooke Shields took a break and went to college. She went to college, and then she came back, and for a while it was hard. She the only thing with that, she had to work her way back because people had pretty forgotten, moved on from Brooke Shields while she was in college. And she had to come back and kind of redefine herself and you know rebrand herself, and that's when she started doing more comedy when she came back. And she was doing a lot of physical comedy, slapstick. I remember when she did the what was that? Suddenly Susan was
Yeah.
oh. That was more like slapstick comedy. She did a lot of that physical comedy and stuff like that. So, and then when she did the role later on, she did the role on Friends when she was the obsessive girlfriend, Joey's obsessive girlfriend. He said, I didn't make it past auditions. He said, nah, I'm good. Yeah, I told that, I did tell a little bit about the story to Josie while she was here about that audition thing and once again, a lot of those auditions unfortunately be bogus. Some of them be bogus, some of them be real, and you can't tell which ones, because what Josie was saying was, yeah, she actually went through that too, but not in that fashion. She went more or less like through an agency, and they went to an audition. She said it was for like a Raven, That's So Raven, and Raven Simone was there. You know what I mean? So like that's the difference. Now, if Patience was gonna be on That's So Raven, and you saw Raven Simone there, it might be a little more, make you feel a little better that okay, they're trying to go through this. You know what I mean? So, and when he says, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we talked about he said, did we talk about ScarJo being the #1 global gross box office actor? No, I did not. We didn't talk about that. We had just got off we're just on the other side of the interview with Josie, and we did not talk about that. You said so she is the highest ranked right now. Um let's look it up. That's cool.
I don't see how. I don't see how. I could
Well,
see Zoe Saldana. I could see Zoe Saldana because I mean she's what
Wait, Zoe Saldana. Zoe
three of
Saldana hasn't really made. I mean, she's made the last movies because of those. See, Zoe has been part of. I think what he's talking about is money in your pocket gross. Zoe's been part of grossing, films that she's been in that's grossed a lot of money. Let me see. That's what he was saying. He said, "Yeah, he'll find the tweet." It was a tweet. He said, "Huh." Zoe was 4th, he says, on this list. Was it like the highest grossing actresses or something like that? And when you say this, Heaven Hollywood, is this meaning grossing money in their pocket or grossing money at the box office? That's for the movie. No, it means box office. That's interesting. Maybe because she's been so part of so many Avenger movies and so many Marvel movies, it must be that. Even though Zoe was the only actress to be a part of, what was it, 4 films that grossed over $1 billion, or 3, or is it just 2?
No, I think it is for 2 Avatars and the 2 Avenger movies.
Right.
No, I think 1 Avenger movie and Guardians of the Galaxy. I think there's 4.
Guardians of the Galaxy made over $1 billion. They didn't make $2 billion because she was talking about. They were talking about she was part of.
2 billion. Then yeah, it's 3. It's the 2 Avatars and the Endgame.
And you got to remember too, that that Avatar 2 money was different than that Avatar 1 money. Remember, they rolled up the Brinks truck to that production.
But the funny thing is, they spent damn near $2 billion making.
Yeah, but and that $2 billion that they spent was probably on cast, crew, because they're probably like, it's Disney.
In effects. I'm sure ILM took a lot of that money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they did.
But she was probably a part of that tape. Probably like, look, where's my bread? I don't care. It's Disney. Y'all got the money. Show me the money. Today's price is not yesterday's price. I am not the same Zoe Saldana that I was 5 years ago. I'm different.
Say highest grossing.
Yeah, because you think you got Zoe she's got two Guardians, two Avengers, 3 Star Treks, right? 2 Avatars, and then you throw in the first Pirates of the Caribbean.
So this list here says Scarlett Johansson worldwide gross is 14 billion, I think it says 14 billion and some change. She actually just edges out Robert Downey Jr. on this list.
But what did they say? Zoe Saldana's net worth is $35 million.
35 million is not. You said 35 million. That's not actually a lot considered.
That's why I said that's why I said it the way I said it. It's like it's only 35 million.
35
wow.
Yeah. She's number one on this. It's like Leroy. This list only includes leading roles and lead ensemble roles, including voice acting. The first is updated as of January 12, 2023. So Scarlett Johansson, 14 billion 500 and some change. Robert Downey Jr. is 14 billion 300 and some change, almost 14 billion 400. Top grossing film for both of them was obviously Endgame. Samuel L. Jackson is number 3, 14 billion 376 million. That was highest grossing, obviously Endgame. Zoe Saldana is number 4. She is 12 billion 805. So, and obviously highest grossing film, Avatar. Chris Hemsworth at 11 billion. Chris Pratt. These are all people that was in Avenger movies. Chris Pratt at 11 billion. Tom Cruise at 11 billion. Chris Evans, Captain America, at 11 billion. Tom Hanks at 10 billion. Vin Diesel at 10 billion. That's the top 10 right there. So, and lead roles.
Now these numbers are
these are box office grossing revenue. Box office gross revenue based on, I guess they're judging by the actor and how much the films that they've been in, their top grossing box office numbers. So that's where that came from. And she has 33 films. Robert Downey has 43 films. Samuel has 64 films. We all know that. He has the most on the list, followed by Tom Hanks at 55 films. So, yeah, that's a lot, man. They're in these movies, and these movies make a lot of money. Zoe's at 4. That's dope, because she, like we said, Zoe is the only one that has been in movies that's made $2 billion or more. She's been in 3 or 4. I thought Avatar made $2 billion, and so did the new one. So that's the the two Avatars, and
And
then you got
Endgame.
Endgame, right? And Endgame, so that's 3. But I think Infinity War made $2 billion as well. I think Infinity War made $2 billion, so that would be 4 for her. Infinity War just crossed $2 billion. It was at $2 billion and something, 48 million. So it did cross the $2 billion mark. So she's the only actress that has 4 $2 billion franchise films. 2 different franchises: the Avatar franchise, the Avengers franchise, and she's the only one that's been in 4 films that's made over $2 billion. You would think her net worth would be a little more than 35 million. So
not really.
She has 30 films under her belt. She only has 3 less films than Scarlett Johansson. And I guarantee you Scarlett Johansson's net worth is higher than that.
Well, here's the thing. Well, one, she has less films than Scarlett Johansson, and 2, the type of films, and also the color of her skin, because again, she really didn't become a lead until the last 10 years. Until she started doing the Marvel stuff is when she started being pulled into a quote unquote lead actress.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, she's mostly supporting for everything that she's done.
Yeah. So there you have it.
I don't see where, I think Scarlett Johansson probably had better probably had, and also it depends on what kind of finance manager you got outside of outside the industry.
Well, I mean that
don't have nothing to do with your box office growth.
That's a small.
Well, no, but 35 million. But that 35 billion number that I gave you was her. That's her personal. Her personal net worth.
Yeah.
That's her personal net worth.
Yeah.
That's not our box office.
Yeah. So Scarlett Johansson's net worth is 165 million. Almost double that. It is more than double that.
And remember why her that makes sense because of the fact that Scarlett Johansson was a leading actress longer than than Zoe was, and could command a higher salary, which means her net worth is going to be higher.
Yeah.
And and as much as Zoe is I hate to put this out there, but as much as she is more appealing to the white audience, she's still a black female. She's still considered a black female actress, even though her last name is Saldana. She same complexion as my daughter. So you know what I'm saying. So she still got that uphill battle of and even being and look at that and it's hey, I'm still doing my show, Peanut. Even look at the fact that she's that she's commands she's a part of $4 billion
franchise,
franchise
movies, movie, yep. She sure is. Only one to do it.
Now, being the only one to do it, let's put a pin in this and see and come back and pull that pin out and do a time capsule and see where she is in 5 years.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, Zoe, Zoe's a pretty good actor too. I saw her in a couple of the films, like these other films, and she's done some, you know, not Lifetime films, but like films that are like smaller grossing, and they might be like films that's on like streaming or whatever. She, she's putting it in. She could definitely, act and all that. She had that, like you said, she didn't have like a ton of leading roles, like where she is the only lead. I mean, she had the Colombiana, but then that just came and went,
Good
That
movie though.
came and went. It was a good movie.
Yeah, that
I
came
just
and
came
went,
in.
and that whole
That was basically, as we all know, that was like that was like the supposed filler because we couldn't get Matilda.
I mean, regardless of whatever it was, she that movie came out in an era of when Hollywood called itself, I don't know what it was called itself trying to do, but trying to throw these women in lead roles of action, like making these action heroines, like I with no follow up. They threw all these great movies out there and no follow up. Like we should have got another Colombiana. I don't know why we didn't. We should have got another one.
A lot of that stuff, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. She did play a horror in the Star Trek franchises. That was cool.
Another good thing she was another thing she was good at. She nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah. She did a thing on that. Wow. I don't know. It's crazy, but we have to see. We have to see where it goes. Where she has coming up. She's got 9 flicks coming. Because remember, she signed what was it, like a 4 or 5 picture deal with Avatar.
Yeah.
So there's 3 more Avatars coming out. We know she's about this year is the Guardians of the Galaxy dropping volume 3. She got 3 more Avatars coming out. There's an untitled pre-production. So there's another Star Trek movie that she's rumored to be in. What else? There's other stuff in here. Something that's a TV series. The Absence of Eden. Is that a film or a series? Yeah, it's a film, more than likely. That she got coming out. Cool. Hey, I don't know, man. So getting back to the Bo-Katan and the Star Wars stuff, just to put a bow on that. There's a lot going on in the Star Wars world right now. I mean, hey, I guess it's good if you're a big Star Wars fan, which I am. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Am I? I'm not gonna lay claim to being this, crazy. I haven't read all of the outside books and all other stuff. But I'm a Star Wars fan. A lot going on. I think the best move that they ever made was putting Dave Filoni in charge of whatever he's in charge of, like the movies that he's going to do. And I really hope that Filoni just continues to rise in the ranks of the Star Wars world, because Lucas likes him. George Lucas likes him a lot. And when you see his interview during Celebration, like he was almost choked up by the fan love that he got, because he's like, yo, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be out there with y'all. Like that's what he's like, I'm a fan first of this franchise. He said, if I wasn't blessed and lucky enough to be doing this now, I'd be out there with you guys. Just like all of y'all that showed up here, because it was a sea of people there, And it choked them up a little bit. You know, that shows you right there the love and respect he has for this franchise, you know, for this world, let's just say this universe.
It's not love and respect. He is a fan.
Yeah, he has love and respect for you know, because he's a fan first.
But it goes beyond love. It goes beyond love and respect. It's deeper than that.
Well, because he's a fan first. So, and he's just so, you know, it's just crazy, man.
He understands the world, and this is why Mandalorian works, and this is why this is why we're going to see a difference going forward, and even with what's the other Star Wars series that was out? There was a couple of them that were out, but if you notice the tone, but even the tone and how they're doing everything, it's different.
And I'm gonna tell you this, I think just as a recommendation to everybody, if you're getting ready for the Ahsoka series, you need to rewatch Rebels. And the reason why I'm saying that, because the Ahsoka series is pretty much going to be a live action version of Rebels, picking up from Star Wars Rebels.
Nah, you really need to see Clone Wars, not Rebels. Clone Wars.
No, Rebels, because the way Rebels ended, you know, I don't want to spoil it for people, but the way Rebels ended, she's pretty much part of her mission is trying to fulfill something that they couldn't do at the end of Rebels in this storyline. Now, if you just want to know more about Ahsoka, you have to watch the Clone Wars. You gotta watch the Clone Wars before you watch Rebels, because then you'll understand certain things when Ahsoka appears in Rebels. But if you've already, you know, let's just say whatever, if you're just gonna, you know, you're gonna go to series, you've seen her. Yes, they introduced her in The Mandalorian. You see her in this series, but to really get a great understanding of where they plan to go in the Ahsoka series, I suggest you watch Rebels. Obviously, Rebels is a quicker watch than the Clone Wars. Yes, it's always good to watch the Clone Wars, but I don't think it's a necessity. Even if you watch Rebels already, I'm gonna rewatch it. I'm not going back to watch the Clone Wars. I'm gonna rewatch Rebels, because I know at the end, Ezra, there's something that happens with Ezra, and that's kind of like one of the driving points of what's going on in the storyline. Remember, Filoni, you know, was involved in all of that, wrote all of that. This is like his brainchild, baby, and he's going to basically have a live action version of Rebels. You got all the characters from Rebels is going to be in this show, just live action versions of them. So that's what I meant.
Just as a side note, people, you're going to go and watch this stuff. You're going to be like, okay, we're going to listen to the director of the Jedi Council, and we're going to watch Rebels, and we're going to probably even watch Clone Wars. Clone Wars is a long watch. I'm just going to let you know ahead of time.
You know now it's a long watch.
It's a long watch. And the other note that I'm making,
and it's not all about Ahsoka. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not. There's a lot of storylines, a lot of through lines. So with that being said, this is also all animation. And what I'm going to tell you, I'm making that note of letting you know that it's animation, to also make a note to tell you, disregard the fact that it's animation. Go and watch. Because the writing is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And some people look at animation like, you know, but trust me, it's animation for everyone.
Listen, this ain't Scooby-Doo in the Mystery Machine.
Exactly. It's not a cartoon. It's animation.
This is not if it hadn't been for those darn kids. Let me tell you something.
Nah, it ain't gonna
As
be
a
good.
matter of fact, what I'd almost tell you, sit down and watch it with your kids. If you're looking for something to bond with your kids, try this.
Yeah. So before we end the show, I want to go now. We're gonna go over some preliminary stuff. Nothing's set in stone, but we are doing our next tournament, which will be like the battle of all-time TV series theme songs. And what I want to do right now is kind of go over preliminary list. It's not set in stone. There's some honorable mentions that I put here that may make the list. And some may not. I mean, it might switch, might pull off, might be this. I updated the list that you sent me, Ralph, because you sent me a list of like what 51. Right. So I added the rest.
I'm gonna say this: if Game of Thrones is not on that list, that ain't the list.
It's not.
I ain't participating.
So, like I said, if you're listening, I said it's not set in stone. I said this is a preliminary list on there. Game of Thrones is on the list. It's just not in the 64 right now because we have to offline. We got to study this list and figure out what the finals are, who's gonna make it, stuff like that. And all right, so there that's on in the honorable mentions right now, but then it may move up somewhere else. So I'm going to quickly kind of run down this list, and we'll go from there. It's in no particular order, obviously. All-time TV series theme songs, 1 through 10. First 10 is Those Were the Days. That's the All in the Family theme song. This one is called Suicide is Painless, which is the MASH theme song. That's actually the title of it. The MASH theme song. Happy Days. Happy Days, obviously. The Wonder Woman theme song. Living Single theme song. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is called Home to Bel-Air. Then you got Good Times, Moving On Up, the Jeffersons, Believe It or Not, Greatest American Hero, and Batman theme song. That's the first 10. Okay. Next 10, This Is It, which is One Day at a Time, Where Everyone Knows Your Name, Cheers, Big Bang Theory, obviously, Bare Naked Ladies, and A Different World, The Ballad of Gilligan's Island, Come and Knock on Our Door, Three's Company. We have Without Us, which is Family Ties, Johnny Mathis and Denise Williams. Miami Vice theme song. So you have the Miami Vice theme song by Jay Hammer, which was very popular, obviously, to the show. But then Glenn Fry also did You Belong to the City. That's another one that's very synonymous with the show. It was made for the show, actually. And then we have Angela, Bob James. That's the Taxi theme song. That's the next 10. So that's 20. Next 10, Woke Up This Morning. That's the the Sopranos. Got Yourself a Gun. And the Brady Bunch, of course. Come On, Get Happy. Partridge Family. As Long as We Got Each Other. That's Growing Pains. Welcome Back, Kata. That's there. It Takes Different Strokes. That is obviously Different Strokes. The Facts of Life theme song. I Don't Want to Wait. That's Dawson Creek's theme song. Moonlighting, Al Jarreau. And number 30 is Good Old Boys, the Dukes of Hazzard. Next 10, Unknown Stuntman, The Fall Guy, the Knight Rider theme song, The Simpsons theme song, I'll Be There For You, which is the Friends theme song, Twilight Zone theme song, Addams Family, In Living Color, Everywhere You Look, that's Full House, The Love Boat, obviously The Love Boat, Ironside theme, that's 40. So now 41 through 50, Green Acres is there. Thank You for Being a Friend, Golden Girls, themes from the Mission Impossible, the show. Well, it's in the movie too. So the theme from Mission Impossible, theme from Star Trek, that's the show, which pretty much goes, to the movie too, whatever. Making Our Dreams Come True, Laverne and Shirley. The People's Court, that's actually called The Big One. As Days Go By, Family Matters. 48 is I'm Always Here that's the Baywatch theme. You're the Greatest, the Honeymooners. I never knew that was the title of that, Ralph. That's cool. I never knew that was the title of the song.
Yeah, that's the title.
That's cool. The theme from Law and Order, Mr. Mike Post. Law and Order, that's 50. So now we got 50 to 60. Number 51, 51 to 60. Theme from the X-Files. Now I added this with Ed Ralph because I just did, and I moved the other one that you had there to the honorable mentions for now. Kiss Me, which is the theme song to The Cosby Show. Theme from Night Court, 90210 theme song, Beverly Hills 90210. Theme song from Dallas, the show Dallas. The theme song from Magnum P.I., Mike Post again. Magnum P.I. Fame, Irene Cara from Fame. The Fishing Hole, which is Andy Griffith show. My Opinionation, that's from Blossom. Theme from the Munsters, Hawaii 5-0. Moving On is the name of the song from the Moesha. That's the theme song from Moesha. Together is Silver Spoons. And theme from Charlie's Angels. Now, under the honorable mentions, I have the Beverly Hillbillies. You have the Flintstones, which I moved off the list for now to honorable mentions. Step by Step, Perfect Strangers, theme song from Dynasty, Game of Thrones, and that's it. And Mr. Ed, I saw that there too. That's it. So those are honorable mentions that could end up on the list. And there's even more that I was thinking of the other night, and I'm like, wow, there's even more. There was so many television shows and series and stuff like that. So
yeah, just
go
sitting here on the timeline, it made me think about too. I'm
Mhm.
going to go with Joseph, the Get Smart theme.
Get Smart, okay.
Right.
I'll
And
put that on honorable mention.
and I Want to Do Bad Things from True Blood.
Bad Things. Yeah, I Want to Do Bad Things.
Yeah, from True Blood.
Bad Things. Put that on there too, and then we'll make our way and figure it out from there. But as you can see, people, there's a lot of TV shows, and there's still a lot that we missed. Originally, I had put Dynasty in the list, and then I pulled it off because Dallas was a little more popular than Dynasty. Dallas was a more popular show, and the theme for it was pretty popular. Like, you knew when you heard it It was Dallas. You know what I mean? The Dynasty too, but it was just a little more popular. So I decided to pull that off and put it on honorable mentions for now, and then we go from there. You know, step by step. You know, the Flintstones. Only reason why I pulled the Flintstones off is because although it obviously is a very popular song, and like I said, I put it on honorable mentions so we could talk about it. But I don't know. I felt like the only animated show that would have probably really deserves to make it is The Simpsons. The other ones, I think we can move to our animated list when we do cartoons and stuff like that.
Now, see, I had thought about that, and the one thing I said, okay, when it comes to these instrumentals, if the instrumental is used in another medium, like if it was in a movie or something like that, where someone brought it up, like the Mission Impossible, the Mission Impossible is in the Mission Impossible movies. Other movies have used that song in the film for something like Ace Ventura, DC Cab. So when it came to the Flintstones, it's funny, but in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, they're singing it on the bus. So I was like, huh. So, and crap, I was just thinking of something else. There was another one that I was just thinking of right here on top of my mind, and it just got.
I just had it also on the honorable mentions. I guess it's called "Coming Home to You," King of Queens. I'm just guessing that's the name of the song, but it's the theme song from the King.
Because Airplane 2 is on. Do we add as an honorable mention the theme song from Battlestar Galactica, the original series?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if this is just me personally. Would I recognize that theme song?
Because it is an Airplane. They use it throughout the entire movie Airplane 2. It's the Battlestar Galactica's theme song. So you think like, well, that's Airplane 2. No, it's really from Battlestar Galactica if you hear it. And they do use part of the notes in the newer version of Battlestar Galactica.
I don't know. Well, we could put it down and see. We'll hash it out. Battlestar Galactica. There's so many, man. I tell you, but it's gonna be either way. This is gonna be a really good tournament, I think. Going forward. Obviously a lot of them are much older shows. The most recent shows, let's just say Game of Thrones goes in there. That's probably one of the most recent shows with a theme song, because they don't make great theme songs these days. They just
That's
don't.
true.
You know what I mean? So
wait a minute, one more. Just for the ladies, do we throw in the theme song from Sex and the City?
Sex in the City. All right, why not put it on the honorable mentions?
Or even Girlfriends.
Either one of them could be. And I thought about Girlfriends when I was doing my list. My part of the list. I thought about Girlfriends. They both had catchy theme songs. So you say Girlfriends and
Sex in the City.
Sex in the City. Okay. So yeah, I'm thinking I want to do bad things. That was that kind of was on my mind as well. But yeah, we'll have to see. It's going to be tough to kick a lot of these out, but I could definitely see, Game of Thrones obviously is that big. I ain't go front though. You know what else I was gonna add? Let's be honest. If you want to talk about recent, Big Rich Town, that's pretty popular.
Yeah.
Song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Big
it
Rich
is.
Town from
It is.
Power.
You know, as
You
soon as
know,
it come on, you know what that is.
you know exactly what's going down. It's a big rich town. Yeah, I mean, that's we might negotiate that one in. That was a big time theme song. You know, automatically people know what's going down when that comes on. I just come from the poorest parts. Um, woke up this
Even
morning.
the
That's gonna be a
even the
tough
new
out.
one, even the new one,
Yeah.
part of the game from book. What's that book? I like that song. I like that song a lot.
From which one?
I think is what's that Power Book 2, part of the game.
Part of the game. It's all part of the
Yeah.
game. Yeah, that's book 3. Yeah,
Oh, book
that's
3.
that's Raising Canaan. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That was dope too. But yeah, man, this is we got this is where we got to hash out. But at least we have a starting point. We got to hash it out. But yeah, I was like, uh, my opinion nation. That was a big song. That like everyone knew that song from Blossom. In my opinion, nation. Because that you get that opening in your mind with her and her friends dancing in front of the little camera and stuff, and her brothers. What else? Yeah, I couldn't believe I had almost forgot the Cosby Show. I mean, that was, and it was the same theme song, but it was just different. They just kind of changed it up a little bit every year or whatever, but it was still the
Right.
same theme song. Just, chopped and screwed. You know what I'm saying? Every year. Also, the Law and Order theme song, that is just, there is no denying knowing what that is.
Shit, it's for all the series. It's for all the series.
Dude, it's for every series, yeah.
Whatever
All
says
of
Law and
them,
Order, it's got that theme
that's
song.
on there. That's powerful. That's how you know their series don't even bother to give them their own theme song. What else? What are some of your favorites in this? Like, meaning favorite, not your personal favorite, but something in this list that you think is going to be a favorite through in the tournament. You have any in mind?
I'm
like I said, it doesn't mean our personal favorite. Just what do you think will do well in the tournament? That might, because what we need to do is come together and try to rank them as best as possible, so it'll be easy to do the brackets.
Man, I think tough outs are definitely going to be Woke Up This Morning.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to say I don't want to wait.
Right.
You know what? I'm Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Home to Bel-Air is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Man, I still think that the People's Court going to be tough. I think the People's Court is going to be real tough to knock out, because when you hear it, you know exactly what it is. It's I don't know. I think that's going to be a tough out.
I'm gonna agree with you on most of them. I don't know about the People's Court, but I definitely think Sopranos. Woke Up This Morning. I definitely man. I think the Brady Bunch might be hard.
Yeah.
To get out, because everyone knows that. People, most people I know, like most people know that entire song. You know what I'm saying? Like they know the entire song. It's a song that was written for the show, and they know the whole deal. I definitely think I don't know, Big Bang Theory might be a tough one, because it's just such a cool song. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Like people ain't gonna know the song, but you know what? They love it because they don't know the song and they try to figure it out. They try to, learn the words, and how to put it. So that's where the people like that one.
Oh crap! Oh no, what's up there? You know what I think might be a tough, and that's if we keep it in perspective. Maybe Good Old Boys from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, I used to love the Dukes of Hazzard. I used to watch that show all the time, man. Just the good old boys. Yeah, it might be. You never know. It's the good old boys. I used to watch that show all the time.
If the good old boys make it past the first round, I'm going to find. Listen, it's going to be a problem. It better not make it past the first round.
It depends on who. It all depends on what it's against. I mean, the bottom line is, for what it's worth, it has nothing to do. Yeah, you're looking at it in hindsight, but when I was a kid, I didn't. I wasn't looking at it that way. I just looked at it as the theme song I just looked at it as the theme song that represented the show that I watched. I'm not gonna lie about it. I watched that show and I liked watching it.
I watched that show too. I liked watching it. My mom liked watching it. My dad was like, "Y'all crazy. What's wrong with y'all?"
Well, of course, you're gonna have that person that's going to point it out to you. But when you're looking at it from a child's view and stuff like that, you look at it for what it is.
That's how. But unfortunately for me, that's where a lot of my stuff came from. That's where my awakening came from as a kid. My parents were like, "Look, you like." My dad walked into the room and saw me and my brother dancing to an Elvis song, and turned the TV. Damn near broke the button trying to turn the TV off. It's like if I ever catch y'all, ever.
I get it. I get it. But I mean, I'm just looking at it as it's a theme song that represents.
Yeah, it is.
So when you hear it, if you hear that theme song, whether you like it or not, you're gonna think about.
No, it's a great song.
That's what we're judging here, right? That's
a great song
for the show.
It's a great song
for the show, right? It represents the show to what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you hear it, you only have to hear a couple of tunes of it, and you'll know exactly what
it represents. Everything that show is about, with no black people in it.
With no black people in it. But yeah,
well,
so,
shit, I mean, that's half this list.
That's half of the list that didn't have no black people in it. So yeah, but that was back when they were writing theme songs. So yeah, but the theme song itself, just when you hear it, oh, that's so and so. When you hear that theme song, you just know. You hear that Magnum PI, you're like, oh, that's Magnum PI. You know what I'm saying? You're just like,
that's my problem. Because I hear the Magnum PI song, and I'm great with that. I can even look at that as even looking at the new show. I hear the good old boys, and the first face I see is Donald Trump's.
Oh well, yeah. Donald Trump ain't
wait, hey, I just realized it. I honorable mention, you got to put the theme song from Hawaii 5-0.
No, I have that on the list. Hawaii 5-0.
I didn't see it on the list.
It's up there. It's number 61. Hawaii 5-0. I sent you did you open the latest one I sent you?
Yeah, I did. I didn't.
Yeah, number 61 is Hawaii 5-0.
Oh, I didn't. Huh.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. Number 61. Yeah, so yeah, man. I plan to judge this, and I think we all should kind of look at this judging wise. We need to take our personal favorites and feelings out of it and judge it for what it was or what we remember what it was at its time when it represented the show.
And that's what I remember. That's what I remember it as, because that's what I remember my dad saying, looking at all of us like, why y'all looking at this racist crap?
Right.
It's no. My dad was the one who pointed out, ain't no black people in this show.
Right.
So did when your dad pointed out, did you start watching the show?
At that time, I mean, I like I said, I used to watch it. Shit, I had a General Lee toy. I remember that. I didn't give a shit about that damn flag, and I didn't know what it meant at the time. So,
That's what I
will
was
I
saying.
go
We
buy
got
a General Lee toy now? No, but
Nah.
the bottom line is we're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that that show, that song definitely, obviously, has to make the list because it was a show that really, it was a song that really represented that show. And when you hear it, you hear a couple of bars of it, you know what it is. Period. Or you can actually, if you were a fan of the show, you could hear these. If I can listen to this song and imagine or visualize something that happened in the show, because if I was a fan of it, then to me it belongs on this list. You know what I mean? It's like when I hear Fame, I think about you got big dreams, you want fame, fame's cost, stuff like that. That goes
See,
through my mind.
that one, Fame. The only issue I got is, like I said, with the Next Generation thing, is that it came from the movie. So
I mean,
I'm
it came
thinking
from
of
the
the
movie, but it was
movie.
still right. Yeah, but I'm thinking of the show because that speech was from the show. You got
No,
big
it's
dreams, you
not.
want fame.
No. That speech is in the movie.
I'm not saying it's not in the movie, but it was on the show too.
Well, because in the thing they use pieces from the movie, but that's from the movie.
Like I said, but it still was a show, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
Star Trek was a movie, and it's the show. The theme song came from the show. I just when I hear that song, I can think about the show or the movie because to me they were almost like one and the same. You know what I mean? Especially with having Debbie Allen in it. I remember, shoot, I used to, especially back when I watched it, and plus you wasn't Leroy in both, right? He was in the show and the movie.
Leroy was in there.
He was in both. Yeah.
The
They had a
teacher,
different
the music
Coco because
teacher.
it wasn't Irene Cara. It was a different Coco.
Right. I think only three people. The two of them and Debbie Allen, Leroy, Gianelli, and what was the old guy? The music teacher.
Yeah,
They
the
were
old
both.
dude.
They were
Yeah,
in the
with the
movie.
white beard. Yeah, they were all in the movie. So, yeah, but I mean, most of these things, when you hear that, you're like, oh, a Law and Order, like you said, it's on all of them. So you may think about the original one, or you may think about SVU. I don't know, but it represents a Law and Order, just different divisions.
True.
You know what I mean? Same deal. Almost all of these. That's the reason why I'm pretty satisfied with the list because almost all of these theme songs pops up in the show pops up in my head when I hear it. Yeah, it all depends. It's just going to be a battle between, theme songs that actually has lyrics that are explained in the show. Because remember, at a certain era in the early ages, all the theme songs had to kind of explain what was happening in the show, kind of explain the premise of the show. When you look at it,
True.
Green Acres explains the premise of the show. Not on the list as honorable mentions, but Beverly Hillbillies tells you exactly what happens to sets you up for the show. Same
Green
deal
Acres.
with Green Acres. Same deal with the Brady Bunch. Tells you exactly, gives you the exact setup. So you never really even have to watch an origin episode, any origin stories, because you know what it's about. A man named Brady married her and blah blah blah. The kids just told you the whole thing. What else? Gilligan's Island tells you exactly what happens and why they're on the island. You don't even have to see the episode with them. You don't even have to see them get stranded because you already know they got stranded. You saw it in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Very, very smart, actually, to do that. So it's like we never had an episode where you saw them board for the 3-hour tour, go through the storm, and get stranded on the island. That happened in the beginning credits. So it's like, okay, cool. Tells you that. What else? pretty much a lot of them was, was like that. Kind of sets up the show, so to speak. Then you got those there. Then you got the ones that were just songs for the show, like I Don't Want to Wait, and the Glenn Fry song, that was made for Miami Vice. You Belong to the City.
One episode too. Only one episode is it in.
Yeah. Which is weird. That's what actually made me think about leaving the original theme and possibly taking that one out, because it was in that one episode. Even though every time I hear it, I think about Miami Vice, though.
Well, see, I thought about that too, and like I said, but then I started looking and said, well, Glenn Fry, because he did the Smuggler's Blues, which isn't in Miami Vice, but that song, right? I mean, I think it went as high as number 2 on the Billboard chart, something like that.
Smuggler's Blues. That was the B-side of You Belong to the City.
Yeah.
I remember. I had the record.
Yeah.
I had the record. I think it was a 45. I had the 45 record. And on the other side was the Smuggler's Blues.
Yeah, I'm looking at it again. Yeah, it went to number 2. So it peaked at number 2 in the Hot 100. So I'm like, well, damn. I mean, because TV shows theme songs generally do not become pop records that people put out. You very well may have a pop artist or a hip hop artist, like example, Heavy D did Live in Color, but they never released Live in Color or Live in Single as a single.
Thought about putting that on the honorable mentions too, and Live in Color. But it's a variety show. It's not a, because if we were going to do variety shows, we'd have to put Carol Burnett.
That's true. That'll be true.
You know what I mean? So I think we'll just have to leave variety. I mean, it still was a series. I don't know. We got to talk about that and decide. Are we going to put any of those type of songs in here? Yeah. But so that's a little something for people to think about. We'll get back with y'all next week. We'll talk about it some more. We'll start formulating the ranks and start putting the things together in the upcoming weeks. But I think for me, I definitely think Woke Up This Morning is gonna be kind of a tough out, and I mean, it's just so perfect for the song. I mean, for the show, it just works. And when you hear it, like I said, remember recently they did that commercial.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like 2 Super Bowls ago or something? It was a Super Bowl commercial, I think, at one point.
And once it came on, you was like, oh, damn.
You're like, I'm like, oh, I'm getting all crazy with it. And it's like, oh, that was a nice commercial, man.
It's even in that Sopranos prequel movie. It's at the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
When they're at the funeral and it's getting ready to go dark, they start playing the song in the end, like, oh shit, you guys know what's coming next.
You know what's coming next, yeah. Oh yeah, The Love Boat is another one of those songs that pretty much kind of like sets you up for it. Doesn't tell you a story, but it does tell you what it is. Soon we'll be making, you know what I mean? So that whole thing.
There's some good stuff.
Family.
I really felt there was some things that I missed and I couldn't remember. Like the Cosby Show, I did miss. But there was some other stuff that I was like, I didn't, and that, like I said last week, showed the Monday Football, right? That's not on there. Right. Although I think I still would have went with "Are You Ready for Some Football" or the actual song, but either or, none of those on there.
Right. Yeah, there's still a few more, and we can still try to gather and just try to figure out what really belongs and what, if something belongs more than the other. I think this time around, though, Ralph, I want to kind of be as interactive as possible. I want to figure out how we're going to get the people involved with voting or whatever the case may be. We'll have to figure out the only way to do it is probably to get their votes ahead of time.
Yeah.
So if we have a matchup, we put it out the week before to let them vote on it the week before, and then we will do our voting during the show, and the crowd could the audience can have their votes in there too. It kind of be like how American Idol was set up. You got the judges that vote, and you got the America that votes. Yeah, exactly. America says.
You add Bernie back to America. Tell you something about kids.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but I agree with you. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, everyone knows that.
They love that song.
Oh, and Where Everybody Knows Your Name. That's another one that's going to be tough. That one's going to be a tough route, I think.
It keep it in perspective, despite it being low, I think because when he does interviews, he actually performs that song. Right?
Yeah, people ask him to actually do that song. So it's like
he does that song more than his own original music, which is crazy, but it's crazy.
Yeah, they'll ask him, can you do the Fresh Prince song? Yeah, it's something else, man. So we'll see, man. That's it. That's all we got for today. Shout out to the chat room, everybody that came through. Thanks, and shout out to Josephine, Webb, Danielson came through, and gave us some good insight. Congrats to her and her daughter Trinity, that is doing their thing out there. It was very interesting talking to her and getting her insight on stuff. Everybody else that was out there, Joseph Tan, all of that in the chat room. Yeah, man. Shout out to Heaven Hollywood who came through. Shout out to who's that? Darius came through. No Nonsense popped in for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to her.
No Nonsense. She's the one that had the book drive last year, right? For the comic books.
No, that was I forget her name. I can't think of it right now. No Nonsense is the one that is she the one that had the problem with Felicia Rashad?
Oh yeah, No Nonsense. Did you go back and look at the shows and raise some objection to Felicia Rashad?
Yeah, she popped in for a hot sec. But shout out to all of them, man. We'll get back to y'all next week with some more stuff, some more things. And yeah, man, comment. Also, like, comment, share. That's especially share. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, shame on you. Subscribe now while you got the chance, before it's too late, before the world blows up. Subscribe and share it with your friends, of course. And we'll get y'all next week. Y'all, peace out.